That blue
Yeah.
is median income. That red is the top 1%. The year that they separate, like fucking Siamese twins, is 1982, when Reagan went and got his dirty little dick beaters on our fucking tax code and did this.
Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So and that's Reagan's fault, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm not an economic scholar, and I can't argue with you. But I saw that the economy improved, and we had a good economy under Trump. You can't. Nobody. I don't think any.
He didn't do
Republican or
anything.
conservative
He didn't
could
do. He
ever say that.
golfed. He didn't do anything for the economy. He passed a tax bill that was already like every 10 years we have to pass a tax bill. It fell on his lap, and he slid the slider from the middle class all the way to the right, to the rich people. He slid it, and every dollar that he could possibly give his rich friends a tax cut for, he did it. There's a Byrd law. It's called the Byrd law. You can only write a bill that's up to $1.5 trillion in one bill. He did that. He goes, how much is that? 14%? Got it. And then he's like, there's a little bit left over, but we'll give it to individuals, but it has to, it slowly goes away every 2 years. So it's already gone for us next year. But his tax cuts, still there, permanent.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of my belief system that says that, I mean, you guys believe in taxes. A lot of the taxes that we pay, we should never have had to pay to begin with. The Department of Education needs to be done away with. It doesn't do this country any good.
Okay. What state are you in?
That's a pivot. That's quite a pivot.
What state are you in?
I'm in Montana.
Oh, boy.
I lived in Idaho for 4 years.
So,
Did you?
Throwing it out there.
this is a map
Southeast.
of...
Beautiful country, isn't it?
I don't even know where Montana is
Gorgeous.
on this map. It's a square,
The
right?
big sky.
Montana?
Yeah.
It's right next to Idaho.
Just look up there look up there east of Idaho, right against the Canadian border.
Oh, God. Okay, so
Right
Montana,
over-
you're right here, right? You're this big red piece of poop. So if you're on this map, you can't balance your own budget. You do not have enough to pay your own bills. So the green states on this map, usually blue states, they're the ones that have to pay every one of these red states' bills at the end of the year. So states like California pays about 25% of all of this. And they pay all this, including you, right here. So your state definitely receives millions of dollars from the Department of Education, and Trump wants to take that away from you, and you're stoked about it.
Yeah, I am.
So what's that going to do for you again?
We really don't need the Department of Education.
Well, why
Have you
not?
looked at the literacy rate of this country lately?
Wait, what is it going to do now that it's gone?
Well,
You don't understand what the Department of Education does, it sounds like, because it doesn't have to do with literacy rates, right?
Yeah, what do you think they do?
Well, I mean, aren't they supposed to handle education nationally?
supposed
That's
to
at the
fund
state level.
education.
Well, no, I mean, I'll give you specific things. Like, for instance, there's huge funds for disabled children. There's grant programs for disabled children. Or, like, if you know anything about the public school system, it's a form of sort of like Jim Crow laws in the South. Like Jim Crow laws were laws after slavery had legally ended. They would figure out ways to still keep black and brown people poor. And one of those ways is how public schools are funded. They're funded through property taxes. So let's say you live in a rich neighborhood, which I didn't growing up. I'm in Arizona now, by the way. If you live in a rich neighborhood, that's why the public schools in rich neighborhoods, you're like, wow, that looks like a university. Like, looks like an airport. Why is it so nice? Because it's so overfunded. If you live in a poor neighborhood, those property taxes are significantly smaller. So that's why the schools are shabby and underfunded. So like there's a program in, let's say, the Department of Education. It's federal grants for those underfunded areas with low property taxes. Or there's like college grants for poor children, like Pell Grants, right? Like it's literally to help lift people up, but it's not the curriculum. Like curriculums are set at the state level, and like test scores, how children are doing in schools, and the standards for that happens at the state level.
Yeah, so like what again, what is going to be good for you? What's going to be good for your state when the Department of Education is gone?
Well, I mean, you know, I don't see funding an education system that's failing nationwide.
So take money away from schools that need it. That's going to help them.
Take money away from the public schools need to be, if they're already funded through property taxes and bonds locally, they need to get their money.
So you guys can't afford it. So when Trump does this, you guys will be at a deficit. You guys will have to roll back stuff. Your schools will have to cut funding.
No, we won't. No,
Why not?
We sit on one of the richest oil fields in the world.
You guys are still in a deficit. It's right here on my map.
Wait, you don't understand how it works.
We
though.
haven't been
Hold
drilling.
on. If it was socialism, you guys would be rich. You're right. Like you want socialism, right? Like if we were a socialist country, you're right. Montana would be rich. Do you understand the difference though? If in socialism, wait, let me just explain this to you because it might interest
all right, yeah, you can't. You're coming clear from the left.
I think you might be. Well, let me just say something. You might be interested in this, like what, like federal socialism is. Like you're right. Montana is oil rich, but it should belong to you, right? It should belong to the people. And you're right. It could be funding schools in Montana. That's how it works in other countries, like in Norway, let's say. They're oil rich, like the area around, like the Black Sea, or is it the Black? Whatever's up there, the North Sea. They're very oil rich, right? And the people of Norway own that oil, right? Or parts of it, because that's socialism. They own their own means of production. They own the oil under their feet, and then they use it for things like healthcare, like social security, like, like education. So yeah, Montana, you guys should be rich, but should British Petroleum get all your oil? Should ExxonMobil? I don't think so. Should the profits go to just the few? Right? The shareholders of oil companies? No, you're being robbed.
Yeah,
Okay,
so no matter how much oil is beneath your feet, it's not going to pay your state taxes. It's owned by private companies.
The leases are owned by private companies.
And who owns the oil?
The property owners.
Who
Okay.
owns the profits?
Listen.
The profits, you don't get the profits. They go to the shareholders.
Well, the profits also go to the people that own the land and pay the taxes.
No, that's individual. That's different. You don't understand what we're saying, though, right? Like, America is oil rich. We shouldn't be allowing British Petroleum to come in and profit off what is the American people's. That's what we're saying. Yeah, if you happen to then buy land, sure. But really, by way of being born in Montana, what is the gold, the black gold under your feet should be all of yours.
One of the things, but one of the things that you need to understand is that it's not if you buy land, because you can't do that anymore. You can buy the ground, but you're not going to walk into this state and buy mineral rights.
I agree with you. So I don't know why you're claiming that somehow people are profiting. They're not. They've bought it all up.
No. The people the families that have been here since this land was settled own most of the mineral rights here.
Or they've been bought. I know that, but that's privatized. I'm not talking about privatized.
Well, who pays the tax?
Listen, privatized profit is different than socialism. In socialism, it's just like in Norway, in Scandinavian they're democratic socialist societies, right? And it's like, hey, oil is a public resource, right? And this belongs to all of us, so we're going to use a percentage of those profits. Not to say like the companies that are pulling it out of the ground or whatever don't get some of the profits, but some of that belongs to the people. And that's how they have free healthcare. That's how they have free university. That's how they subsidize childcare. Because like, or for instance, like Argentina, like what is it they have? Is it uranium or something? Right?
Yeah.
It used to belong to the people. Now Milei is going to sell it all to Elon Musk. Like who should own the minerals underneath people's feet? I think you should, as a native born Montanan.
Okay, and if you own land here and you're part of the families that make up most of this part of the state. I live in the east side of the state. I live in the oil part of the state.
But
There ain't no oil on
then
the
let's
west
have
side.
that argument, JD. Let's have that argument.
Okay. Then
So actually, do you guys own that land, or did you steal it from Native Americans that you then pushed onto reservations? Like, so yeah, I understand you're saying the land was stolen by white settlers hundreds of years ago, and it's all bought up. I'm saying I think everyone should share in that wealth. That's how socialism works. You guys should all. I'm not saying own all of it, but own a piece of it. Some of those profits should be used to fund your state. You guys are
Yeah, but
in
who
the
gets
red.
to say so?
We got a little derailed, guys. The fact is, Montana's in a deficit, and they receive $880 million a year from the Department of Education. So you better hope your schools are really good budgeters, because they're going to be cutting their budget to the tune of about $1 billion. And and it's going to be better for you somehow, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, because we got federal programs that also, unfortunately, it seems like we have federal programs that come down and tell us how to educate our kids, and yet I talk to kids that come out of these schools, they can't read or write, they can't do math.
Well, geez, let's cut their funding.
J-
You guys got it.
JD, again, curriculum happens at the state level, right? Curriculum is being set at the state level.
Okay, but we're funding something that's failing.
All right, let's not fund it anymore. You're right.
Yeah, let's not. I mean, if it's going to continue to fail, if we're not going to correct the problem, then why do we keep throwing money at it?
You got it. You guys got it. Montana will figure it out. You guys got it. You'll figure it out. You'll figure out how to do economics one day.
All right. Well, Felice, I want to thank you for finally just talking to me a little bit, and I appreciate the conversation. We may not agree with each other.
Apologize if I came in hot, JD. You're not a bad guy.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you guys. You guys have a good evening. I'll tell you what, I will, between all the cows that I have time to chase and I'm a cowboy. Okay. That's what I do for a living. And so I don't get a lot of time to do research and listen to a lot of the things that are said. But I'll try to be a little more studious about some of the things that I learn when I come up and talk to you guys. I appreciate your time.
All right, man. Well, you have a good day, and be careful. Be safe out there.
All right. Have a good
day.
evening.
All right. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 200K. Please, chat, if you guys please follow and gift Felice. She is the best thing to happen to our channel. She also has a Cash App and Venmo. It is A Girl Has No Name. It is right here. Please give her all the love. I also have a Cash App and Venmo in my bio. It's in my link tree. If you guys are trying to buy me some coffee, I'd love you forever for it. Eliera, thank you for the sub. Let's get to the next guest. Chat, if you're a friendly, please hop out of the box. Please. Yellow.
Pickles.
What's up, Dad?
How you doing, man?
Doing good. Have we talked?
Yeah, we talked before the election,
Okay.
but it wasn't with Felice, and I'm worried about Felice if we're talking about education because she didn't spell has right. Come on,
I'm assuming
Felice.
that one might be taken. Could have been taken.
Come on, Felice.
You're
Oh, she's
muted,
on
by the
mute.
way.
It's a Game of Thrones. It's a Game of Thrones reference, so like it was hard to, get that a name that even looked like it because it's taken.
So what do you appear to say? What do you want?
Well, no, I guess, we talked before the election, and it wasn't Felice that was on. It was somebody else. I don't remember her name. It was another girl that was on. But I wonder if there's a version for you two where you're able to sit back a little bit and see how things play out. Because when we talk about, I didn't read Art of the Deal. I'm in corporate enterprise sales. I've been around sales for 15 years. There's a really simple concept in sales called anchor high. And I'm sure one or both of you know what that means, but essentially it's, you have to put something out there and have it be a starting point.
Are you saying anger or anchor?
Oh, anchor. A-N-C-H-O-R.
Anchor. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was I worked in the tech industry and advertising sales for a long time. So,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't know if that means
I don't
anything to you, but
I don't know what you mean by sit back, but like there's obviously a lot to talk about already. Like Trump hasn't even gotten to the White House, and his picks for his cabinet are the most controversial thing we've ever seen. You can't deny it. There's going to be so much to point out in these next 4 years. I'm almost grateful because of this is what I do now, but we're going to be in y'all's faces for another 4 years. We're here to stay.
Yeah. I think it's good to have, contradiction and counterpoints. I mean, I think that's healthy for sure. I just wonder if there's a version where you guys do sit back and see how things play out, or if it's just chip away at every decision that comes out, or every, anchoring high that happens. For example, I don't know this for sure, and you don't either. When we're talking about Department of Education, we don't know what's going to happen to the federal funding for that. We don't know if
Of course we don't, because he didn't
Okay,
give
well,
us a plan at all.
Well, he's anchoring high, in my opinion. I think he's talking about there are problems across the board in the government that need to be addressed. And I think anchoring high in this is that he's looking at it, for this example, Department of Education, and saying something's got to change with what's happening.
You guys
and I
are
know
looking.
you're talking about.
You're giving this like I don't even know. I feel like there's like an episode of There's Always Sunny about this or something, because like you're looking at this man who, in my firm belief,
that's
is
a good
very
reference.
very dumb, and like every move that
beyond
he
dumb.
makes, we are on our side. We're like, dang, this guy's incredibly dumb. What is he doing? And then y'all are like,
painfully
listen,
stupid.
and y'all are like, listen, how brilliant is this? Like, look at this man. He just wrote down the words pee pee poo poo, and like you're like, wow. Like,
And then you're like, I'm gonna make an AI meme of him riding a dolphin,
Yeah.
dressed as a superhero. It's like,
Well,
it doesn't make any sense. Like Trump, listen, my thing is this, like, I just told the truth. Like I used to be a historical researcher. I was a teacher. Like I told you, I worked in the tech industry for a long time in advertising sales. So I learned a lot about reverse engineering thoughts into people's heads. Like I worked in marketing. So I have a lot of interesting backgrounds. I'm an intellectual. I'm a voracious reader. All I do is just point out the truth, right? Like I was just saying, hey, here's the facts. And the facts before the election is that Donald Trump is dumber than a box of rocks, right? He happens to be a malignant narcissist who has no effective empathy, and he's a really good grifter, right? Like he's a great salesperson. I'll give him that. He evokes emotion in people and he plays off people's fears. But like set of facts that I talked about before the election are still true now. Like Donald Trump was not great on the economy. As a matter of fact, he wildly mismanaged the budget, right? Donald Trump hates unions. Like he has grifted like working class white men into somehow believing he cares about them. Let me give you an example. Like one of the things I'm going to talk about tomorrow on my show, that I do with Pickles in the day, where we go through like clips, is I don't know if people don't notice these things. I on these debate lives, people come all the time, like especially working class white men, and they're like, oh, Trump is going to not tax overtime, right? But Donald Trump was on a live with the richest man in the world, praising Elon Musk for being a union buster and refusing to pay people overtime last week. And nobody knows. It's the weirdest thing. No media outlets reported on this. A judge in Texas, right, slapped down. Biden is the one that's protecting overtime and making it available, more readily available for lower income workers. And a Trump appointed judge in Texas slapped it down. So Donald Trump's not going to pay no tax on overtime. He's going to make it harder for people to even get paid overtime. Donald Trump is a grifter through and through. And I don't blame anyone for not having the time in capitalism to do all this research, right? Like when I worked in the tech industry, all I had time to do was work and go to sleep and wish I was dead. Like that's the nature of capitalism. But at some point, we've got to take responsibility and really look into things, because Donald Trump's not good at anything except looking out for himself.
Yeah, there was a lot said there. I would not sure where to start. I think that if I were to pick a macro response to what you're saying, I listened.
I like
to
your
quite-
vocabulary.
I listened to a lot of people, maybe more in like the few weeks leading up to the election. I mean, I was paying attention, but let's say like 3 or 4 weeks. I think Pickles, I was probably on with you like a week before the election. And I was hearing people from all over the place, all different races, all different socioeconomic backgrounds. And there was most certainly polarity in things that were being said. Some people, obviously were for Kamala's stance. I think most people were just against Trump. But I heard a number of people from low-income households, different races, talking about that they could not sign up for continuing to trust the Democratic Party to help them. And so putting Trump aside for a second, and there was a lady on, she was on a live, not on a live, that sounded weird. She was on a live, and she was from Chicago, and she was talking about just how for her whole life, she was expected, being a black woman from Chicago, that she had to vote Democrat her whole life. And if she didn't, then like her people, her community, they would look at her like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, I finally just said, forget this.
This is pure conjecture. Like, if we talk about why she might have done this, that's one thing. But like, we can talk about policy. We can talk about things that like matter. But you're talking about another woman, maybe, who's been conned into voting for the other party for God knows what, because the government's corrupt. I don't know. But if we actually talk about the policy that we've done for like minorities and for like people who have been hurt by the establishment, it's the left. We're the ones who protect Social Security, SNAP benefits, every form of
TAMP.
social safety net that you can think of. That's us. And every civil like rights movement and every part of like U.S. history that's not shitty. It's the progressive liberals doing the right thing, not the conservatives.
Well, I mean, that's not true. You can go back and look at a handful.
Well, let's pick a policy. Let's pick one and go through them one by one, because it is true. It is always the Republicans that vote against funding social safety nets. Always. Vote counts don't lie. Who votes? Let's just talk about hurricanes and floods. That's why it's so ironic. Which was Russian propaganda, by the way. All of that stuff about, they're giving, that was part of a Russian propaganda, a very good misinformation and disinformation campaign. Who votes to fund the disaster relief fund every single time? Democrats.
Yeah. And
Who
the most
votes
recent
every
time?
single time to not fund it? Republicans.
Including
every single time.
Including Floridians. So sad. It's so stupid.
It's wild to me that that no one knows this. But I think it's like what he said, like what he said, Dad, I think said was actually kind of true when he said he heard on lives before the election, like, I can't trust the Democrats to run the government again. I think that is a trend we saw worldwide, not necessarily directed at the left, but directed at whoever the incumbents were in office during the pandemic. People didn't think farther than that. They're just like, hey, I had a miserable time. I don't care. I don't need to hear anything else. You have to go. So I do agree that, like, it's people weren't investigating it further. They're just like, I want to change and I don't want to hear anything else.
Dude, big, huge shout out to Zachary for $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, W. Zachary's, for days, for at least the next 10 minutes in chat. Thank you so much. What's up, bro? You back?
W. Zach.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, shout out to Zach. So Felice, yeah, I guess what the question that that you had asked was, we were looking for policies, and my example was, are you guys saying that Trump didn't do anything for African American communities when he was in office? Because you were saying social.
Well, no, not
social
nev,
welfare.
not nev. Like, it depends on what you're calling social welfare. Like, which policy? I know that you can look up. Like, there, I've seen the propaganda list of, like, what has Trump done for African Americans. Like, I've seen those bullet points. But, like, yeah, he gave, so, like, he likes to say he funded the HBCUs. Well, I'm here to tell you Biden gave them more. Like, so, you know, like, I'm not saying that Republicans have never done anything for brown and black people. I'm just saying when we're talking about social safety nets, like programs that lower income, middle class and lower income people need, Republicans vote not to fund them.
Well, Pickles did use absolutes. He did say it's always. He did reference always Democrats.
I'm gonna say like 98%.
Okay, so we're coming back from 100. We're down to 98. Okay.
Yeah, I'll clarify.
Okay. Well, specifically the lady, if I could reference her again, from Chicago, and yes, this is anecdotal, of course, but it's not the only example that I was listening to. Her big thing wasn't about maybe, I think, Felice, some examples you were giving. Her big thing was that she saw what was happening with the legal immigrants getting funding, getting cards, getting housing, things getting paid for them. And
How do they do that? How do they apply for those programs?
how do the illegal immigrants apply for those programs?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. I know there's I don't remember what the site's called where you apply for it. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know where you're going with this. Is this a gotcha question, or
They can't.
what do you mean
Yeah,
they can't?
who do you think is illegal? Well, who are you talking about specifically? You're talking about asylum seekers that are here illegally?
No, that would be
you-
legal, right?
No.
Well,
Asylum's legal.
sometimes people on the, asylum people that are in this country, like what you guys call them illegal. So that's why I'm trying to clarify.
No,
But
no, you
people who are
guys.
in, like, saying people, well, I'm saying, well, no, I do not mean that offensively. I'm saying, like,
Generally.
it's
Generally.
like, we seem to miss each other on this. So that's why I'm clarifying. Like, the people who are, like, bused to sanctuary cities and are awaiting, like, a court date with an asylum judge, they are in the United States legally.
Okay. So let's zoom out for a second. Do you think that there has been not asylum seeking legally? Do you think that there has been a growing issue of illegal immigration into our country?
So the only thing we have to go off of is
Let's say-
we have
okay.
two things. So there's a thing called gotaways. Are you familiar with gotaways?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I don't think I could regurgitate what it
Gosh,
is.
everyone that watches Fox knows what a gotaway is.
So we
I
have
don't watch
encounters.
Fox,
So we have
please.
encounters, which are like the 12 million number that you guys are always citing. Those are people caught, interviewed, and if they didn't belong here, they're expelled. So the more we catch, the better, in my opinion. That's good. Encounters are good. But what you guys are concerned about, what I have to explain to you guys, is a thing called gotaways, and those are always estimates, and it's always based on like a multitude of factors. But one of them is just based on how many we encountered. So we have an estimated 1.5 million gotaways in the recent years. I think Trump had like 500,000, but we just had we had an influx of migration. So we didn't lax any real border policy. In fact, we were more stringent than Trump when we patrolled the border. We expelled people at a higher rate. So you guys really just have this like very broad, vague idea of the border being wide open, but if we take like 30 minutes to teach each one of you guys don't understand it's not true.
I think he's doing some research. He can probably still hear us. I'm gonna maybe yes. I do appreciate he's looking things up. So I'm actually fine with this time. I appreciate anyone who looks anything up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I guess this is the second time I bounced in and out of our conversation, but I'm
Are
not
you
sure.
getting calls or something, or is something like something? Sometimes that can do it.
No calls. But I just want to go back to something, Pickles. You said that the border policies were more strict under Biden than they were under Trump.
The expel rate shows that Biden had a more stricter border policy, more stringent. And also Trump
Based
had
on
this
the expel rate.
yeah, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. So Cato Institute, which is a libertarian institution, they said what was it? Migrants more likely to be expelled by Biden, I think is the article. Yeah. Here is the data they sourced, Department of Homeland Security, but this is December. This is all of Trump's term. He had 1.3 million encounters, and he expelled about 47% at the gate. And Biden got 5 million encounters, and he expelled about 50% at the gate. So there's this thing that's called Title 42, and Title 42 created a revolving door. And what happened was when you tried to cross the border illegally, you were caught and you were immediately expelled because of COVID. And they weren't allowed to write tickets. They weren't allowed to be held liable for this because of the nature of the law. So it created this revolving door where people would try like 6 times in a day until they succeeded. So the nature of these numbers is just kind of tricky. Chat, tap the screen while he is teacupped. And if you enjoy these debates, follow the stream.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. If I keep bouncing in and out, I can give my time to somebody else. I know it's not fair to you guys.
Yeah, you're good. Well, we've got more people in the box. If you want to come back some other time, you're welcome to. All right.
Every time you do it, I'm just like, we won. No.
Hey, Felice, and I am like totally. I studied psychology in college, and I had an ad agency, and I'm just in love with that. I'm fascinated with that world.
Oh
It's
my God, me too. I could talk
it's
about it. I should do a live about it.
you really should like. It's. I remember seeing
It's
that.
psyops.
It is
Yeah.
psyops. Do you remember the clip from Nancy Pelosi talking about what was it called? It's the political psych warfare where they create like conjure up a story and then the media runs with it and they turn back around and say, "See, look, it's true." I don't remember what the term is she called it, but
I can't remember, but I know what you mean. Like, I mean, my job used to be to like say, what do I want people to think, or what do I want people to feel, and then like reverse engineer thoughts into people's heads. Like,
yeah,
advertising is the most nefarious. I mean, it can be used for good or for really, really bad. Republicans are great at it. Democrats
look,
need to get like. I hate the line of like Democrats are bad at messaging. We're not bad at messaging, really. We're bad at like the network, the infrastructure of how we message, and then also like the way that Republicans use the repetition of 3 syllables to reverse engineer thoughts into people's heads. I mean, I used to do that.
yeah. Look up the history of Tommy Hilfiger and how he started. It's pretty interesting. It has nothing to do with politics, so I just thought I'd throw that out there.
I
Real
will.
quick,
No, that's cool. I really will.
Sherry, thank you so much for $50 freaking dollars. on Venmo. W Sherry's in the chat. Guys, you guys are thank you so much. Chat, please also don't forget Felice.
Oh,
She needs the love too.
yeah. Julie sent me 5. Thank you, Julie. And Miss Julie, Aunt Julie. I shouldn't have said Miss Julie. Aunt Julie. That's my Aunt Julie. Love you so much. And
All right,
Liz,
thanks,
thank
man.
you so much also for $5. And Andrea, thank you so much for $10. You guys are going to make me cry. Thank
Goodness
you.
gracious.
And I'll follow you, Dad. Hopefully, if you are ever around, follow me back. And then if I'm ever alive and debating, let's have another conversation.
No, I'd love to, guys. I think what you're doing is great. I'm glad you guys are talking about things. I do. I told you to sit back. I didn't tell you sit back. I asked if you were going to, but I'm cool with debate. I think it's great and healthy. So
For sure, man. All right. well,
Exactly. I think that what we all need to do is just talk more because and I'll leave you with this. What I would like you to sit back and think about is if all of us, regardless of who we voted for in this election, are all being robbed by the same people, billionaires.
yeah, there's a part of me that agrees with that. I'll talk to you guys next
Yeah.
time.
All right. Have a great night.
Thanks, you guys too.
all right. Bridget, thank you for the subscription. And can I talk about the duty to warn letter? Thank you, Jessica, for the $1. Do you know what she's talking about?
No, I mean, I know what a duty to warn is, but I'm not sure. Let's just Google it. Let's use my Mac and keep going. Do you push
Oh,
your
that.
lives, by the way, to.
That I know. It's the one that someone wrote to Kamala that they're talking about possible election interference. So sorry. MSLO, thank you for the auto renew.
Wait, can you send what should I Google to find that? Duty to
typed
warn like Kamala?
duty. Yeah, it's
or-
on Substack.
Oh, it's a Substack?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I might have this in tomorrow's. I just haven't read it yet. Notable, Honorable VP Harris, the White House Office of the President, blah, blah, blah. Dear Madam Vice President, this is my second duty to warn letter regarding hacking of the 2024. Oh, yeah. I mean, wait. Both warnings are made. Clapper? Are we talking about Clapper, the thing that's like TikTok, but like DNI's Clapper's 2015 directive to all agencies and contractors associated. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to read this on
What-
live.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't read. I that's why I stopped. I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a good thing to read out loud. But what? So are they? I mean, is this about Russia or is this like what is he saying happen? Have reversed the outcomes at least? Okay. Oh my
I think
god,
he
this
brings
is
up.
scary.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely read this. Thank you. I'm going to literally read this before I go to bed. Well, I don't know if we should read it out loud because sometimes this could be misconstrued as us,
Yeah.
because of the way the algorithm works. This could be bad for us.
Yeah.
But I'll read it tonight and then like tomorrow, summarize. You guys, are you gonna if Pickles shows up tomorrow? Pickles is always welcome if he wants to come. I do a clip show that starts at like 11. It's like 11 to 2, 11 to 2 Pacific or like whatever it is, 2 to 5 Eastern, and I just go over like news. So I'm gonna go over all the weekend news. This is really cool. This is interesting to me. So
Chat.
I'll look into this and I'll
I'll let-
address it tomorrow.
All I did was I typed duty to warn into, oh my god, I love my new pen. Look at it hovering over. Duty to warn in the search field, and it's the first thing.
Or duty to warn Kamala, and it came up first for me because I typed duty to warn first and it didn't come up. So I typed duty to warn Kamala and then it came up.
Tic Tac wants to join you. Yeah.
Hey, Tic Tac.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up, bro?
I was just getting ready to go to bed because I'm old and I go to bed early, and I heard you talking about this. I sent this to you in Discord a couple hours ago. I wanted to talk to you about it because I knew it was going to come up. The whole thing is, so this is all about bullet ballots. People, I guess 600,000 bullet ballots came through in swing states only, and they marked down Trump and didn't vote down line for anybody else. And it was like, look at the records comparative to Arizona to what it was in 2020 and or not 2020. I'm sorry, but what it was to Utah. Utah didn't have any bullet ballots. Why did all these swing states have bullet? But then if you look a little deeper and you Google the guy's name, he's been doing this shit since 2004.
To every election.
So he's he does this for every election.
Oh,
and then
okay.
all of a sudden this is coming out. This is just blue conspiracy theory, blue-sided conspiracy theory. Be very wary of it. Search the guy. I mean, he's on the Substack. Just Google his name and you'll find out he's not, this isn't his first time.
Okay.
You're saying, let me just make sure I understand. Like, you're saying that he like writes these letters since 2004?
Correct. Correct.
Like to the Democratic Party or to whoever's in the White House at
To
the
whoever's
time?
in the White House, essentially. To whoever's in the
Oh,
White
okay,
House.
so
he
he's
claims
not.
that-
Okay, got
yeah,
it.
so he's claiming that it's election interference for every single one of them, and he's got the proof, and they just need to listen to him and take his meeting, kind of stuff. And then the Democrats just kind of picked this up and fucking ran with it. Just like, look, guys, sometimes we're guilty of the same shit MAGA does.
Yeah,
I'll
but
admit.
yeah,
I'm
you
not.
saw us,
Hold on.
you
I
saw
will
us
not
stop
own
ourselves.
that. I'm not guilty. I'm not
Yeah.
guilty of any
No, I
of this.
saw you.
I don't
I
think.
saw you.
Let me just say, I've looked at I'm into statistical probability. I have looked at all the vote numbers in all the swing states. I've looked at all the projections of how we'll end up when they're all counted. The math is mathing. Like, the math makes sense to me. Like, I have looked at every projection. I am not one of these people.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important.
Like, people thought it looked weird because there were like 15 million outstanding votes, but we're not going to end up there. There's like statistical probabilities of where we're going to end up, and it's going to be within like 1%. Like, it's not. It's people think something weird is going on, but it's not.
I'm not saying it was you. I'm just saying, like, on our side, we are susceptible to these things as well. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, I know we don't do that, especially in this room. We don't do that, but yeah. I mean, so it was going around on Blue Sky. It's Blue Sky is the new left-leaning Twitter, and you get 18 million
Jack
people
Dorsey
together.
is not a leftist. I would like.
I said it's left-leaning.
Jack Dorsey, I mean, yeah, but I mean, the former owner of Twitter well, I don't feel that way. Jack Dorsey is not a leftist. So he's definitely a capitalist billionaire who I've met him. I wouldn't call him a leftist. He's not that far off Elon Musk. But yeah, he sold Twitter and then created Blue Sky. And now people are leaving X and going there. Someone asked me if I have an account there. I actually do. When they were in beta, I made one. I haven't posted. I've been so exhausted and stuff from working to the election. But now that Fee is working with me and we're like getting organized and stuff, like, and I'm starting all these new shows. So I'm going to start posting more and like figure that out. Yeah. So I like all
Well,
that
it's starting to
stuff will be
pick up. It
happening.
might not be a bad idea to jump over there. I mean, you're an influencer. I'm not. I have nothing to do over there, but it might not be a bad idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, no, and it's not a bad thing. I should be posting everywhere. It just has to do with my bandwidth and exhaustion. Like, I was just working. I was working on the election in Arizona and stuff. So I just got away. I haven't posted. I haven't posted on TikTok in like 2 weeks because I've just been so tired, and I'm developing like new shows. I'm gonna start. Actually, I'll just say this really quick. On Tuesday is the first show. It's going to be oh my God. It's going to be 12 Central. So 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. Do you guys know Potty Mouth Pollyanna Mandy? She has like 700,000 followers, her. And then Danielle, her handle's like In Bed with Danielle. We're going to start a show once a week completely geared towards the effect of the Trump administration on women. So,
Awesome.
ladies, for
Wow.
everyone feeling
Congrats.
disenfranchised and alone, we are going to have a show in a place where we can organize, like get the latest news and do all that. And I'll be on Facts Still Matters show tomorrow. We're going to be discussing the rise of Russian propaganda on the right.
That's awesome. The fact that they're actually saying, like, go Russia. That's okay. Like, we should join Russia. Kind of like I've heard these arguments. But yeah, so when you do the looking up the or I forget what the guy's name, but search his name and see what else he's done before Substack. This isn't the first time he's done this, so take it with a grain of salt. That's all I was saying. But anyway, I'm going back to bed. You guys have a good night.
All right. Good night, bub.
Bye.
No, I think that's smart. I'm glad he said that. I think we
Yeah.
should as well. Yeah. Like I just think unless there's credible, like just like with what happened in 2020, two outside consulting firms investigated that. You know, like there were investigations done and there was no outcome determinative fraud. So if some people investigate and there's outcome determinative fraud, I'm willing to listen, but I'm
Yeah.
just not going to listen to like conspiracy.
Yellow. Chunk.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
I did vote for him.
All right, cool. What do you like about Trump?
Well, I mean, there's a few reasons I voted for him. Let's see, which one should I pick this time? I don't think that he's a fascist dictator, and that was the rhetoric coming out of the left. So that was pretty annoying.
What do you think
Then
about
you have
him?
a
What he's
misunderstanding
doing?
of fascism.
What do you think? How do you feel about him? What he's doing right now, trying to force his cabinet picks through Congress by having them go into recess. Do you think that's
Do
a
you think-
little?
Do you think he's a fascist dictator?
Yeah.
Have you lived under an
You just have
actual?
to understand the fascist. Well, you need to understand the definition of fascism.
Have
Like,
you
we could
lived
go
under
through
an
the
actual
14 points.
fascist dictatorship?
Is that?
Well, I lived in South America in a place where, yeah, they consider Maduro a fascist. Like I've lived in Venezuela.
He was.
But
more
I
of a-
just, what I'm trying to say is not like you need to live underneath one to know if it is or not. I'm saying you just have to understand the definition. I think that in America, it's the same way Americans use the word communist, you know, like that just means really bad dictator to people in America, right? And like fascist is an insult to people, but it's a real definition. It's a political ideology. You know, like it actually has a meaning. Same way communist does. There's no communist countries in this world. Communism involves no borders. It's stateless, classless, moneyless, right? But we still call people communist. Like, so yeah, like I think you think fascist just is like an insult, but it's a 14-point political ideology.
Yeah, my wife is from Chile. They had an actual fascist dictator for 16 years. Maduro's
Who
a
was it?
left-wing-
Allende? Is it Allende? Who are you talking about?
Pinochet, but Allende was a communist.
Pinochet. Okay. Well, I mean, he was more militaristic, but yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you there. He was a dark dude.
And
we can-
Maduro-
But I
we
mean,
can,
thank
like,
the
instead of-
American CIA for that.
Instead of exchanging like anecdotal experience, we can just go over the 14 tenets of fascism if you like. Would you want to?
Yeah, let's do that.
No, I just don't think that you have ever lived under an actual
Oh, no,
fascist.
I
dictator.
told you I did. I lived in Venezuela. Why aren't you
that
listening?
wasn't a fascist
I don't-
dictatorship. It was
so-
a
Ma-
left-wing
hey,
dictatorship.
Maduro is a fascist.
That was a left-wing dictatorship. It still is.
Okay.
He's not. He's an
Yeah,
authoritarian.
Yeah. Hugo Chavez.
You cannot say that you don't know what fascism is unless you've lived it.
You
I
have
can
no
I can
idea
literally
what you're
just tell you what it is.
Right-wing tyrannical authoritarianism.
It's ultra nationalist. Yes, and there's a lot to it. We can go over it. Let's go over it, bro. Let's go.
Yeah,
over it.
Yeah,
Let's
let's go over the points and remind me when you go over these points. Remind me what Trump did when he was president. That was fascist.
For sure. We'll do this point by point, every single one. Powerful and continuing nationalism. So like Trump with the crazy like flags everywhere and him just saying America first, you know, we've got to place America first even to the detriment of our own detriment of our own economy. We're going to become this crazy like isolationist country with tariffs now. You guys are cool with it. You guys are also disdain for recognition of human rights.
I'm
Trump
against
has
the tariffs.
So okay, it's Trump. This is still Trump. He's meeting these bullet points, not you. Disdain for recognition of human rights. Trump does refer to migrants as people who are animals.
He dehumanizes.
He dehumanizes them. He says they have bad genes. He says they're poisoning the blood of our country. Identification of enemies, scapegoats, and unifying cause. So like the corrupt government, the big corrupt deep state,
The
Nancy
deep state.
Pelosi, all
Immigrants,
that stuff. The
child
border.
LGBTQIA.
How many immigrants, legal immigrants, did Trump let into the
Oh,
country?
but we're not arguing. It's not about that. It's just about
How many
othering
legal-
people,
This is
identifying
ideology.
an
This is
enemy.
ideology.
country.
You're splitting hairs, but this is Trump checking the list.
No,
Supremacy
how
of the
many
military.
legal immigrants?
Supremacy
My
of
wife
the-
was one of them. My wife was one of them. How many did he let into the country?
I don't know. About 500,000.
It's a lot closer to 1 million. Almost every president has let in 1 million legal immigrants. Every president. Trump was no different.
Good stuff. So supremacy of the military. Even when the widespread domestic problems, the military is given a disproportionate amount of governing funding, and the domestic agenda is neglected. Soldiers in military service are glamorized. So Trump did spend about $2.2 trillion on the military. It was part of his $8.4 trillion spending, which is the most egregious spending any president in history has ever done. Rampant sexism. Trump has 28 sexual abuse allegations, a rape case from his former wife, another one from E. Jean Carroll, another one from a 13-year-old girl. Let's see, controlled mass media. Trump does want to take people's like media companies licensing, the people that came after him that don't like him or the ones that he doesn't like. He wants to take their media license away. He also he talks about, fake media just like Hitler. Obsession with national security, build a wall. The migrants are coming in. They're killing everybody. Just think about all these sleeper cell migrants, these military-aged men coming in. This is the rhetoric you guys are floating around. Religion and government are intertwined. That's an easy one. Trump is a Christian nationalist. He wants to do a Christian task force, actually. For
Put the
federal
Bible in
government.
schools.
He's putting Bible in schools. Corporate power is protected. Trump gave the biggest corporate tax breaks ever, almost, and he wants to do it
Gets
again.
rid of antitrust law, deregulates and gets rid of antitrust laws. That's literally what happened in Germany.
Labor power is suppressed. Trump is a notorious anti-union, anti-worker president. In fact, he's famously known for ripping off the people who built Trump Tower in New York. Disdain for intellectuals in the arts. You guys come up here all day and talk about how college is a scam, and you guys think that we're all out there studying gender studies and we're dumber for it. Obsession with crime and punishment. You guys want to do the mass deportation just because they came through entry without inspection. You guys want to lock everyone up. In fact, the private military, or I'm sorry, the private prison system stock exploded the day Trump got elected and appointed Homan and Stephen Miller. Rampant cronyism and corruption. Trump has a whole slew of people around him who have been to jail and to prison that he's pardoned. Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, George Papadopoulos, Rudy Giuliani, Cohen. It just goes on and on.
Well, and also, wait, let me say one thing about cronyism, because cronyism is the billionaires, right? Like Harvard University classifies America as an oligarchy, right? Just like the Russians have one billionaire in charge of copper, one in charge of oil, one in charge of aluminum. That's Elon Musk is sitting in the White House. We have two South African billionaires. One owns the vice president, JD Vance. The other is now the first lady.
And then fraudulent elections. Trump swore up and down the elections were stolen for 4 years with no evidence, and even tried to steal the election himself through fake slates of electors. And he has an indictment in D.C. for trying to overthrow or trying to commit fraud against the United States government and do rights violations. And I believe it's to interrupt an official proceeding as well.
How many of his political enemies did he torture and or unalive?
Is that on this list somewhere?
I mean, that's real fascism.
No, we just
that's not
went
even
through
on
the
this
14
list.
points, sir.
It's not on this list.
That's not okay. So you're just a spoiled American who doesn't know what real fascism
No,
is.
you're just making things up. It's a political ideology. It's not like, hey, I feel like this is what it is. This is what it is.
This is what it is because you got some points. You have
Oh,
some.
no, I'll say what that falls under. I'll just say like it falls under the rise of the
you're a
military.
spoiled,
Yes, it
rotten
is.
American is what you are. You're a spoiled,
I-
rotten American
hey.
who has never lived under an actual fascist.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again for you slowly. I disappeared into South America. I've lived in many South American countries. I've lived in other countries besides on the South America. So you are talking to the wrong person, sir. Like,
What year did you live? What year
and
did
you
live in
keep saying, and
Venezuela?
I just want to say something. You married a Chilean woman. That doesn't mean you have some experience with fascism. You're up here trying to claim like you lived under a fascist dictator. You're an American because you married a Chilean, trying to claim you have some intimate knowledge of something. This is what fascism is. You don't get to invent a definition because you slept with a Chilean woman. Like that's what you're doing.
All of her family still lives there, and they remember it. They're still alive.
So you're doubling down. Like you literally are proving my point.
you are a spoiled, rotten American who thinks that Trump's last 4 years.
Again, I've already explained to you that line of logic has
think it was
collapsed.
fascism. You think that was fascism.
Literally, this is before Trump ever. This is written in 2003 by Lawrence Britt. We didn't write this after. This is Trump just fell right into this, and I'm so sorry this is happening to you, but we just thoroughly proved that he's a
sorry.
fascist, and you moved the bar.
And what did you say? I mean, you went through so many points. One of them was faulty elections. Yeah, faulty elections totally happen under all dictatorships. But Trump lost and he left office. Dictators don't leave office.
He tried to overthrow.
As a Hispanic woman, I would like you to stop tokenizing your wife also, because you are married to
Here comes the victims.
Because no,
The
you're
victims.
tokenizing your wife, and because you married a Spanish-speaking woman from South America does not make you an expert on fascism, sir.
Did he leave office? Did he leave
You're
office?
using your wife
Did he
as
leave
a
office?
human shield
He did not
to try to
leave
give
office.
you some
Trump
like
did not
right
leave
to speak
office.
on
He did not
fascism.
leave office with a peaceful transfer of power. He
Did
tried
he
to
get the
overthrow.
military? Did he get the military to start a coup?
He tried to use the power of the office to stay in power.
Did he get the military
just because
involved to start
is
a coup?
is that a requirement? Because he just did it with fake people, fake electors, fake letters of ascertainment. He tried to trick the fucking legislatures of each of these swing states
Well-
into thinking his electors were the real electors.
And what happened?
And
he got
he
charged.
did try to
Left
get the military involved.
left
Jeffrey Clark, co-conspirator 3 in the federal indictment. That's part of what he was talking about. He was going to install Jeffrey Clark as the AG because Jeffrey Clark had agreed to. They were talking about invoking the insurrection clause. They were going to turn the United States military on U.S. citizens.
You're talking about hypotheticals. He left.
No, I'm
office.
talking about the conversations that
office.
were had in the Department of Justice leading up to January 6th. It's in the indictment.
Biden was elected. Do you remember that?
Not according to you. Was the election stolen or not?
I believe that Biden won the election.
So you think Trump's been lying for 4 years about Biden winning?
Yeah.
And
He's
you're
been
still okay
whining
with
about
that? So that
He's
just
been-
illustrates my
he's been
point all
whining.
by itself, that Trump is crying about stolen elections when there wasn't one. He's casting
he-
doubt
and-
on our democratic process.
And as a dictator, he was a pretty poor dictator since he fucking left office.
Okay, but this time he has a plan. He has JD Vance, who won't stop and do what fucking Pence didn't. Remember, he tried to get Pence to not certify the election. That's the only reason he didn't get away with it. And Pence, where's Pence now? He's not your friend, is he?
I don't fucking care about Pence anymore.
Why not?
But if because Vance is the new guy. Vance is your
And
new
Vance,
guy. Who do you
Vance
have-
has straight
who
up
do you
said that
have-
he'll do it.
Who do you have to go up against Vance?
What do you mean by go up against? It's not a boxing match.
Well, I mean, you got to have somebody. I believe that Trump's going to leave after 2 years, and Vance is going to be our new president.
You mean unalive due to eating too much McDonald's?
I think he's just going to retire early, like Biden should have.
I don't get this. Like, you
Did
think
you
he's just
see?
gonna give up
Did
power?
you guys see Trump, Mike Johnson, and RFK and JD Vance on a private jet today eating McDonald's? Like, I guess Make America Healthy Again is over. RFK was stuffing his face with McDonald's. I thought none of us were supposed to be eating McDonald's, RFK.
Trump's gonna leave office and be like, "Hey, remember when y'all said that I was a dictator? Dictators typically don't leave office early."
I don't know how that's
Well,
a flex.
I'm going. I'm
He
going.
tried
bye-bye.
everything in his power not to leave. That's not a flex, dude.
Nah, he's gonna leave. He's gonna go play golf, and he's gonna hand the keys to Vance.
He cried about having to leave for 4 years, and you're proud of him because he left?
Oh, yeah, it was Elon. Thank you, Tanner.
Biden won the election, right?
If you say so, then that makes Trump a liar and an egregious liar.
He's a whiner.
And he's your big, strong man who's going to do diplomacy?
I mean, a lot of people voted for him.
So did
He-
Hitler.
He increased his black vote. He increased his female vote. He increased his
Hitler got a lot of
Hispanic
votes.
vote. He increased his Asian vote. He increased his Jewish vote. He increased his white male vote. He all across the fucking board.
What
all
does that
across the
even
board.
prove?
Would you put that picture on your iPad?
All across the board. You've lost every demographic. So who do
What
you
does that
have to
mean?
go? Who do you have to go up against JD Vance? Who do you have?
Listen, it's not a
What does this
UFC
prove?
fight. I think MAGA is very no. I'm just there's look at this. Make America Healthy Again. Look at why does RFK have 5 sandwiches?
Cheese tubs.
I thought our food
And a
was poison.
Coca-Cola. And a straight up sugar Coca-Cola.
They just love trolling you guys. They love it. They love it.
This is a troll?
Are they gonna do a deal with McDonald's? Like I don't. It's like
It's literally-
super
it looks like
weird. Is
product
McDonald's
placement.
paying this?
It looks
I
like-
mean, do you remember when he?
It's like I bet they're doing like a licensing or marketing deal.
I mean, working at McDonald's drive-through was an absolute troll, also, and this is just—they're just piggybacking on top of that. This is marketing, and you guys are falling for it.
And what's it marketing?
It's marketing the outrage culture that comes from the left.
No, you're missing.
They got
you're
us.
missing the line of logic we're on. Let me help you. RFK has been going around saying, which it was actually Michelle Obama, because this is proof you don't listen when black women talk. When Michelle Obama was first lady, she said, hey, compared to other countries, corporations are allowed to put poison in our food. There's really bad things in our food. And you guys were like, she's trying to take away our salt. Like, F her. We're not listening to her. I'll eat what I want. This is America. And then a white man comes along, RFK, and says, hey, there's poison in the food. And then all of a sudden, you guys
Like,
are like,
yeah.
there's poison in the food?
Hey.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the point is that is RFK's thing. Make America healthy again. There's poison in the food. McDonald's is poison, but yet he's stuffing his face with it. We're talking about the hypocrisy.
Well, a lot of very poor people have to go towards McDonald's nowadays. because-
Those are not poor people. Those are not poor people. And McDonald's is
Yeah,
not
I know.
cheap. Like,
But-
I'm a poor person. You're talking to a poor person right
Yeah.
now.
And eating McDonald's is a way to, like, you know, they're getting on their side.
I do agree
Trump
with
is just
that. I think it
notoriously a
is
big
like,
McDonald's
Trump's like,
fan.
look
It's
at
not-
me. I'm like you.
Trump is just literally, he likes McDonald's. Look at him. He's
Yeah.
a big fat bitch.
I do too. I make pretty good money by eating McDonald's all the time.
I don't, and I'm in great shape.
Well, that's good. Yeah, if you work out enough, it really doesn't matter.
I don't work out, but I'm 36 and I can see my own dick.
You had to say that out loud for some reason.
Which Trump probably
You heard it
can't.
here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Would you like to show everybody?
No, I'm good.
That's a different show, Chunk.
I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Future encounter. Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think, yeah, I think Trump is a walking meme. And when we point it out, you guys have this like fight or flight like response to it. You're like, oh my God, that's the left. They're crazy. But here we are showing you guys your walking contradictions, man. You really are. You're like, oh, Kamala flip flopped on fracking, but this stuff is an
Hey,
everyday
let's-
thing
let's-
for Trump, man.
Let's talk about tariffs. Since I don't actually agree with the tariffs, you want to talk about tariffs? Explain to me.
Yes, I agree with you then if you don't agree with tariffs.
That's not a debate.
No, we can debate it still. I just want to know, like, your opinion on how it's going to be a negative thing.
Okay,
Do you
so
understand?
like
Tell
goods,
us how tariffs work.
yeah, who pays for tariffs? Like
The company does.
the company. So like
company
the company on U.S. soil, right?
Yes.
So if these headphones right here are $350 and Trump does his 60% blanket tariff on China, they're going to be about $500. Who's going to pay for that? Do you think the company is going to sell me these at a loss for $150? Or do you think you're going to sell them to me for $500?
No, yeah, I agree. It's going to increase the cost of doing business, and it's going to trickle down to the consumer.
It's going to directly go straight to the consumer.
Yeah, it's going to trickle down to the consumer.
Yeah,
Yep.
not trickle down. It's laterally just
you're-
straight forwarded to the
It's gonna
consumer.
smash
You're
us straight in
allergic-
the face. It's
You're
like
allergic
straight
to that
the
word,
face.
but you're allergic to that word trickle down. But that's what
Because
it is.
trickle
It's
doesn't
trickling
illustrate it.
down.
It's a
What should the
lateral
corporate
move.
tax
It
rate
literally
be?
is just
What should the
forwarded
corporate
right to
tax
us.
rate be? What should the corporate tax rate be?
25, 28, 35 would be great. 50 would be fantastic. But
40.
20, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that also increases the cost of doing business. And where do you think? What do you think happens then?
I know
Do you
exactly
think
what
that-
happens.
Do you think the company pays for that tax, or do you think it trickles down
let
to
me
the consumer?
let me show you what happens. All right, because I've done this.
Does it
I've
trickle?
done this
Does
a
it?
lot.
No, you just said. You just
I'm going to
said
show
like
you.
tariffs.
I'm going to show you.
Tariffs
We'll
are
talk
a
about.
tax. Tariffs are a tax that trickle down to the consumer. The corporate tax is a tax that will also
This is-
trickle down
Let's
to the
talk
consumer.
about. Let's talk about McDonald's. All right, McDonald's has a $1 million tax liability at the end of the year to the IRS, right? Let's say this is back when, like, we'll say a 40% tax. And they say, you know what? Fuck all that. We want to give everyone a raise. We want to build a new location. We want to give some pensions. We're going to buy all sorts of stuff. And then our tax liability will be only $500,000. That's what used to happen. Now they have no tax liability. It's like $250K, and they're like, whatever. We're still not going to pay that because we've got all these other ways to not pay it. And
tax
this is what
liability-
used to happen. It used to trickle down, but now it doesn't because there's no tax liability to force them to do that.
They have to pay federal corporate tax, which is 21%, and they have to pay a state corporate tax as well. What are you talking about?
And it's still lower than it's ever been. And we don't have the highest wages.
and
It
you want
doesn't
it to
trickle
be-
down. We have 50 years of data to
And
show
you-
this.
And you want it to be 50% because you think it's going to trickle down more if it's at 50%?
That's what used to happen. We have the data on this. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you think you would rather force companies, like, if you don't give your employees pensions, we're going to tax the shit out of you.
Well, like, no, let's change the wording though, because you're saying it like it's a bad thing. But what we want to do, right? Because I agree with you. I think we should make America a hospitable place for American corporations. But what we want to do, because what we know is we have to incentivize corporations to do the right thing, right? I mean, it could be the carrot or the stick. I like the carrot though, right? Like, we need to incentivize people to reinvest in their employees, because what we've learned is what happens when we're not incentivizing corporations to reinvest in their employees. Then they do stock buybacks, right? Like, that's the truth. There's no trickle down.
And explain what
It's trickle up.
explain what a stock buyback is.
So basically, you have a bunch of stocks spread out through a bunch of people who bought stocks from you. And in order to increase the price of your
One
stock,
second.
you reduce the total amount of stocks you have by buying them back and absorbing them. And it makes the price of your stock go up. It makes your stockholders richer. And you can even fire employees to make your stock price go up. So like there's no correlation between the amount of money a company makes and the amount of money they pay their employees or anything of that nature. They simply have all of these better ways to make money than to reinvest it aimlessly into their own business.
And when you say stockholders, who do you mean? You just mean like billionaires, or do you mean like it could just be somebody with a 401k that has invested in this company? And if their 401k is going up because of stock buybacks, that's good for them. It could just be one Joe Schmo with a Robinhood account, and they're invested in this company, and now they're increasing their retirement plan
Good
because of the
stuff.
stock buybacks.
Or we can literally just make them pay their employees like a higher wage. Or we can
can
do that.
make them-
And like thousands of people would have money in their bank, not just one dude who makes investments in the stock market.
One dude. It's not just one dude. Anybody could be invested in any company.
Okay. But I'm talking about what has worked in the past, what we have data on, and what companies have done in the past and what they do now. Stock
Okay.
buybacks increased at a rate of like 90% in 2018 after Trump did his tax cuts. They did not increase employee wages. They did not decrease unemployment. They didn't do shit. It didn't do anything. And we've never seen any of this happen when they cut taxes.
It depends on what corporation you work for. I mean,
No,
some
we just
corporations
look at
suck.
all of them.
Not every corporation is Walmart, but my company does stock buybacks, and it's an extra retirement plan for the employees. I have a 401k where they match, and then also the company does stock buybacks.
I'm glad
They
you're
do
getting to
stock-
suckle at the teat
they-
of the very
do-
rich people you work for, but we're talking
They
about
do-
actually balancing out the wealth of
They-
America.
They do stock buybacks so that they could then sell the stock to their own employees at a discount. That's a second retirement plan. And it also, it incentivizes the employees to work harder and make more money for the company, so the company's stock goes up, and that helps out the employees, that helps
Listen,
out the company, and it
I know
helps out
they've taught
every
you
Joe
all
Schmo with
these-
a Robinhood account.
They've taught you all of
That's
these ways
not
to
true.
justify trickle down, but
It's
this is
not
not
true.
this is not what's
Yeah,
happening, bro.
It's not. They're prioritizing shareholders' returns over investing in the company and investing in the employees. That's the bottom line.
And this is what the
If you
problem is.
and believe me, I worked in corporate America, and I worked in tech with a company pre IPO to post IPO, a huge social media company. And what you just said, I swear to God, it's like I totally get what you're saying, because I used to tell myself that. When I worked in corporate America, and when you're benefiting or you're working for a corporation, you tell yourself those things because you're like, this has to make sense to me somehow. And it did make sense to me for a while. But then when I got outside of corporate America and I looked at the bigger picture, I was like, oh, I was being robbed.
So the United States is this giant machine, and if you just threw money into it and see the way it landed in like throughout the years, this is how it lays out. 1% owns this much of America, and depending on how we change tax laws, if we change them the way Trump does, we're adding on to this. 1% get a little bit more, and this is you and me right here. That's you and me. But the 1%, thank God, they're getting just a little bit more. They got more now. That's what you're doing. You're exasperating this problem. And what happens is we have to fucking print money when all of them just hoard all of this wealth and there's nothing left down here. It just dries up. We have to print money and we inject it here, and then it flows all the way up and stays at the top again. And then we print more.
Look, if you want to convince me to increase the individual income tax rate on individuals that are at the top, I'm totally fine with that. Raise it to whatever the fuck you want. But like, when you raise taxes on a corporation, that is raising taxes on everybody that works from the top all the way down to the mailroom. Okay, that's
It's
less
absolutely
money.
not.
That's less
It's
money.
it's
That's
not.
That's less. That's
That's
I
less
just
not
money.
illustrated
true.
to you
That's-
how higher taxes could incentivize them to pay them more.
It also incentivizes them to hide their fucking taxes in Ireland, where there's a 12%
No,
corporate
you-
tax
you-
rate.
No. If you
Yes,
do
they can-
business,
there's a completely legal loopholes.
No.
They just find a country with a smaller corporate tax rate like Ireland, and they will hide their money there. They'll just open an office there. It's very simple. The accountants that work at corporations are 1,000 times smarter than every
Then
jackass that works at the IRS.
then they can all move to Ireland.
they're
Why haven't
not.
they?
Why haven't
This
they?
it's be,
The New
yeah,
York
no,
Times
but
has
why?
written about
No,
this.
what? No, wrong. Listen, why are companies have to do business here? Why? That's what he's asking you. Why is that?
Why did Biden and
No, it's
Trump?
not a trick question. Just answer the question. Why do companies have to be in America? Why?
Why do companies have to be in America?
Yeah, why? Yeah, if they're doing what you say, there's always this argument from the right, like, oh my God, if we tax rich people, if we tax rich people's businesses, they're just gonna leave. But that's not true, is it? And why? This is the largest marketplace in the world.
See, everything changed with
This is the largest marketplace in the world.
everything changed.
There is nowhere else to be a player but in America. I'm
The
not saying you
multi-
can't be in other markets, and by nature of having to be part of the US market, then you pay US taxes.
The multinational corporation changed everything. Do you understand that? That changed everything. When we had corporations
No,
that
but
were
you're still
solely-
doing business in America. You can be a multinational corporation. You still are doing business in America and you still have to pay taxes. Now, I agree with you, but I'll agree with you in to say, and in addition, we need to close a bunch of tax loopholes.
Yeah, but it's impossible.
too.
It's impossible to close those loopholes. It's
It's
impossible.
not.
Sure, it is. Because all they have
You
to
ever
do.
heard of Congress?
All they have to do.
What?
Are you
Like, what
talking
do you
about-
mean? It's not impossible to close tax loopholes.
It's
All
you
it-
guys
all-
are championing ways to get around taxes, and you're like, it's impossible. When Democrats come in, like Biden, and says, hey, there's a 15% minimum taxes on corporations making over 400K now, that worked. It worked.
Biden's
It's not
Biden-
possible.
Biden literally campaigned for a GMT, a global minimum corporate tax of 15%, because he's trying to get all the countries on board to just do like, okay, we're all going to agree on 15% for all corporations. So they'll stop competing and they'll stop hiding their money overseas. Biden campaigned.
You have
for
no
that.
idea what you're saying.
Well, look it up. GMT, Biden, global minimum tax.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, that's not what's going to happen by lowering the corporate tax rate. We're just taking in less revenue. I just don't think you understand
no.
how to balance a budget. You think that, hey, if they pay no taxes, then eventually the money's going to trickle down to me. We already
Yeah,
started
like,
by showing you the money doesn't trickle
you don't
down.
think we
It's
haven't
never
thought of this
trickling
before?
down.
You don't think we even thought about, like, what if no one paid taxes? Like, hello? But we have to
Like I
balance the
said-
fucking budget, bro.
Like I said, if you want to raise taxes on individuals, the rich individuals, that's fine with me. Do it. Raise it as much as you want. But the corporation is made up of a group of people who all pay taxes for working for the corporation. It all gets sucked out of our paycheck. The
Not
mailroom
me.
guys and the
You're
people-
wrong. It does
No.
not. You're wrong. You got to stop doing that. That's
you're,
not
you're
true.
literally all we have to do is what Biden did, and just invest and say, here's some subsidies, make some businesses here, and boom, they fucking show up. They just sprout like out of nowhere.
Explain how I'm wrong when you go
Look,
on the CBO website.
you see that?
Go to the CBO.
Do you see all
go to
these
the
companies
CBO.
Biden started? They
great.
love to be here.
Go to the
They love it.
CBO.
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing.
Go to the CBO
How
and
you
look at how much.
incentivize people in the right way, and all of a sudden you create businesses just start popping up. What Trump says he's going to do, what Pickles is showing you is that actually what Trump is going to do is take credit for what Biden's already done.
Biden
Right?
didn't.
The economy
Biden
doesn't
didn't-
turn.
He didn't
That's what
increase the
he's
corporate
showing
tax.
you.
Why didn't Biden increase?
No,
the
that's
corporate
not.
tax?
We're
Because
talking
it
about.
wasn't time.
We're talking about bringing jobs to
Wasn't
America.
Because
see, the thing
because
is-
tax laws are
Every
written
10
every 10
years,
years.
you change the tax plan.
It's a
Yeah,
10
you
year
have to
thing,
change
so
the
it
tax
lands
plan.
on Trump
CBO.
again. He gets to fucking lower it for rich
Look at the
people
CBO.
again.
If you look at the CBO, you'll see why
Hey.
the government doesn't really care about
Biden
corporate tax.
proposed to raise the corporate tax.
to
no.
50, he raised it to what?
When
15%?
the golden age of capitalism, we taxed corporations. Like, what was the highest end of the corporate tax rate?
The government makes trillions of dollars off of the individual income tax. Well, they only make billions of dollars off of the corporate
Listen,
tax.
we know, but what we're showing is that these tax laws he's writing is going to bankrupt us to the tune of billions. I get it. The individuals do have to, I'm sure it hurts, but it barely, there's a thing called marginal utility. And for poor people and rich people, it's a little different. For every dollar that you earn, it's worth less than the last. So when rich people take a $20 hit, it's much different than like a homeless person on the street taking a $20 hit. So there needs to be a progressive tax rate, especially for corporations who are taking advantage of the American infrastructure that we built over the last 250 years and the enormous fucking military that we have. The most egregious military on earth. They somehow want that and to not pay as much as the next country in taxes.
If you owned a corporation, would you rather give your profit to the military industrial complex, or would you rather give it to your employees?
Listen, I'm reading a study. This is a study on
Answer
corporate
the
tax
question.
rates. And wait,
No,
let me
answer the
can I
question
just
or I'm
provide
done.
proof? This is from the
Answer the
Economic
question.
Say your
Policy
question again.
Institute.
Say your question again.
If you owned a corporation, if you ran a corporation, would you rather give your extra money to the military industrial complex, or would you rather give it to your employees in salaries, bonuses, better benefits, or creating more jobs and job creation?
You're
equals tax
you're proving my point that I just showed you. If they have a higher tax liability, they'll say, fuck that, I want to pay my employees more. You're exactly siding with me, bro.
Can I read something from an actual a study from the Economic Policy Institute? Lowering the corporate income tax rate would not spur economic growth. The analysis finds no evidence that high corporate tax rates have a negative impact on economic growth. In effect, it finds no evidence that changes in either the statutory corporate tax rate or the effective marginal tax rate on capital income are correlated with economic growth. Yeah.
Okay, how come
And
during the pandemic, Amazon
you're just saying things you feel this way because these are things that you've been told, right?
No,
Like for years, that's what they say. If we
citing an
tax
article.
businesses, it's going to hurt economic growth. Businesses are going to leave America. I'm looking at a study that shows that that's not true.
I didn't say they're going to leave America. I said they're just going to hide their money in their offices that are overseas. It's very easy to
That's
do.
happening now with low income tax rates. You have to know that. Whether do you see what I'm saying when I say it's a fallacy? Like that can
true.
happen regardless. If you want to, if you want to have a conversation about closing tax loopholes, I want to have that conversation too. That's another thing we need to do. As Trump deregulates, that's part of it, right? Like we do need to close tax loopholes. We need to make it harder to hide money. In places like the Cayman Islands and in the Netherlands and all these places. I agree with you there. But it has no correlation to if we raise corporate tax rates, it's not going to hurt us. We have to get away from that. That's what billionaires say. That's what corporations say. Oh, if you tax us, we're not going to be able to pay our workers. It's not true.
During the pandemic, Amazon, there's an article that went viral about Amazon making like $1 gazillion because everybody was at home and they were ordering shit and Amazon was killing it. They made $1 gazillion in revenue and yet they paid $0 in taxes. Everybody lost their mind about that. Why?
Because they're the largest corporation in America almost, and they take advantage of all of the roads, all of the stuff, even the mailing system that we have. They take advantage of all of that, and they pay nothing.
Listen to me very carefully. They made $1 gazillion in revenue and paid $0 in taxes. Okay.
Okay, and what about in profits?
Yeah, they made $0 in profit. You pay taxes on profit, not revenue. They made $0 in profit because as the money was rolling in, Amazon started buying land all over the world and building more Amazon facilities and hiring more people all over the world during the Trump tax cuts. So they paid $0 tax because they had $0 profit.
Can I just, and Pickles, I'm going to send you this so you can put this graph up, but I'm reading the Economic Policy Institute. I'm looking at a study. I'm looking at a graph. Listen to this. At first glance, a link between the statutory corporate tax rate and economic growth appears to go in the wrong direction. Higher tax rates are consistent with higher economic growth rates, right? Saying we increase corporate tax rates and economic growth rates increase. The economy grew at an annual average rate of 3.9% between 1950 and 1960. And that's when the corporate tax rate was over 50%. Between 2000 and 2010, the corporate tax rate was 35%, over 15 percentage points lower. They lowered it 15 percentage points lower. And annual economic growth averaged 1.8%, less than half of the growth rate in the 1950s. I'm telling you that what you're saying is not true.
Yeah. When if you're running a company and you're not
Okay, I'll send you this, Pickles, and you can put it up.
when you're running a company and you're not prepared yet to grow.
I don't need another story. Like
You're not,
this is bad.
if you're not prepared to grow your company, you're not prepared to hire more people or build new offices, then you just have to pay taxes on your profit and give it to the military industrial complex. Would you rather do
texting it
that?
to you.
Would you rather do that, or would you rather keep the money and then you would have the option to maybe hand out more bonuses, or maybe you just pocket it like Walmart and you treat your employees like shit. But not every corporation is like Walmart.
So if you don't invest
That
it that
has
year,
nothing
pay
to do with the
taxes on
line
it.
of logic.
Figure out a way to pay tax.
So just
invest
scroll
it that
down to
year.
the first graph.
So
Scroll down to the first graph. Corporate figure A, corporate profits as a percentage of national income, and then what I was reading was oh wait, was I reading? Yeah, that's what I was reading right underneath it. Corporate tax rates and economic growth.
At first glance, a link between statutory corporate tax
Oh.
rate and economic growth appears in the wrong direction. Higher tax rates are consistent with higher economic growth rates. The economy grew at annual average rate of 3.9% between 1950 and 60, when statutory corporate tax rate was over 50. Between 2000 and 2010, statutory tax rate was 35, and economic growth averaged 1.8%, less than half. The trend in real GDP growth is displayed in Figure B, with its ups and downs since 1947. Real GDP growth basically fluctuated around the downward trend. The statutory corporate tax rate is also displayed in Figure B. The tax rate leveled out to 53% almost in the 1950s and 60s and fell in 35%. Again, this suggests a positive association between GDP growth and corporate taxes. So
So scroll down to figure B now. Show the graph. Like
You're
it's the
talking
100.
about
yeah.
the 50.
So,
So
no. So
that's the
listen.
real
No,
line.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you just got proved wrong.
No, this is
Mathematically,
bef-
you are
this
wrong.
is- this is
Sir,
before-
No, you're not listening to what he's saying. We're comparing the 1950s and 60s to 2000 to 2010. That's what we're
So
comparing.
50% tax rate and 35. That's what we're comparing, and it shows an advert. It shows if we actually look at the GDP growth and the statutory rate, it falls. The statutory corporate tax rate, however, does not necessarily capture the tax between a tax burden on new investment. The effective marginal tax rate on earnings from investment could be a better measure of the tax burden. The trend in the effective marginal tax rate on capital income between 1953 and 2005 is also displayed. It is possible that corporate tax rates affect economic growth with a lag. Consequently, real GDP growth is compared with tax rates from previous year.
Multinational
sense.
corporations were not a common thing back then. Now it's every corporation. They all have the
That-
ability to hide their taxes.
That
at
doesn't
their
matter, sir.
offices.
Sir, that doesn't
Yes, it
matter.
does.
That has
Of
nothing
course
to
it
do
does.
with the conversation we're having. No,
course it
listen.
does.
I'm
It's
not
a
trying to
false
be rude.
comparison.
I'm
It's a
telling
false
no.
comparison.
What sir? It just you're not even talking about the same thing we're talking about at this point. That's I
What-
guess
what-
the
what's-
best way I
what's-
can put it.
What's Sweden's corporate tax rate? They're very progressive. What's their
22.
You're
corporate-
joking, right?
It's like
What's
22.
Sweden's corporate?
22.
Yeah. What is that too low?
Yes, it's too low for us because they don't have a $1 trillion per year military, do they?
Right. So we got to fund the military industrial complex. And how do we
Yeah.
do that? We mostly do that through the individual income tax, not
Oh,
the
so now
corporate
you
tax.
want to you want to give corporations a break because for some reason that's going to hurt the economy It should be individuals. You want to pay for that instead?
No, I want people at the top, individuals. If you tax individuals, rich individuals, instead of whole corporations,
So
that's
the
completely
problem with
fine
that
with
is they don't pull any actual income. Just like Elon Musk, he is cash poor, and then he borrows against his stocks. He uses them as collateral. He gets a tax-free loan, and then he pays zero interest on that loan, and he uses that as money.
Preach.
He
I
doesn't.
was
He doesn't
just
have to.
reading about this.
They don't have to do. They don't have to have an income. That's why they pay themselves $0. That's why what your plan is that doesn't work.
How much did Elon Musk
And that,
pay
you know what's so
in
messed up
tax?
about that? Unrealized capital
the biggest
gains.
tax
We
bill in
can't tax
history.
them, but they can
Elon
borrow
Musk paid
against them.
$10 billion a couple years ago. The biggest tax bill in history.
Most billionaires do this. I don't care. He's the richest man on earth. He should be paying a lot more
It's
than
about
that. He should
effective
pay
tax
a more
rate. Yeah,
effective
it's about
tax
the
rate.
effective tax
He
rate.
pay, It was like
we don't-
8%.
It doesn't matter.
We pay like 14.
It's about the percentage and the effective rate. Like he's paying a pittance. Like it's like he could find that in his couch, right? It's all relative. But that is
Haley,
the
thank
craziest
you
thing.
so
Think
much.
about it. They don't want us to tax unrealized capital gains, right? Like which Biden proposed to tax, but Elon Musk could use unrealized capital gains as collateral to buy Twitter. Do you
Wait.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, he paid
you
8
wanna
billion
tax-
and probably got like 100 billion through subsidiaries.
Do you want to tax unrealized capital gains?
Yes, we already do that. Do you own a house?
yeah.
Unrealized capital gains.
Do you own a house?
I don't now, but I used to.
So when you owned a house and your property value went up and they sent you a bill at the end of the year and they taxed you on that value, are you paying unrealized gains?
Yeah, but you're talking about Elon Musk and his stock.
Oh, bless his heart.
Oh,
Bless his heart.
Oh, so rich people get a break, but poor people, we have to, for some reason, be taxed on unrealized capital gains. Get off your knees for billionaires is my advice to you. We're not trying to be mean to them. We're just saying, just like we pay this percentage, they also can as well.
Yeah, well, I get pretty nice bonuses, and I get 10 weeks of paid paternity leave for working at this corporation. And that's low for corporations, like big corporations. Some of them give 25 weeks of paid maternity and paternity leave and great benefits, and the government doesn't do dick compared to
Yeah,
that.
and then there's
So what
other
is your- what
countries
is
who
your option?
have there's other countries who have like 18 months paternity leave.
Yeah,
You-
and our
you don't got
government.
shit.
And when is our government? And when is our government going to do that?
When
is our government
Republicans
gonna do
stop
that?
fucking sucking the dicks
when
of billionaires.
Republicans vote for when Republicans vote for it, if you want to have paternity leave, then you become a progressive. You vote blue. We've been voting
No.
for it relentlessly. It is the Republicans that vote against it. Well, you can look at the vote counts. They don't.
You're gonna be
lie.
waiting. You're gonna be waiting for a very long time.
Yeah, I know. Now that Trump got in,
And there's a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court, and they got a Republican Senate and a Republican House.
So what
He's
you're
probably
saying
gonna
is, thank God, good luck with that because I exist and we vote against that. I don't understand what your point is. That's not a gotcha.
No. My point is, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So you might as well get the best benefits you can from big business instead of sitting and waiting for maybe someday we'll turn into Sweden. It's not going to
I'm sorry,
happen.
you're the
bud.
one working
can
for
I
a big
empathize- I
corporation,
empathize with
and
you.
we're the entrepreneurs here. So I think you should take a page out of our book.
Thank you for the flower crown. I love those.
Take
Yeah,
a,
I agree. We're sole proprietors or business owners. No, but let me just say something. When I worked in corporate America, I get it. Like you have a pretty good life or what you believe is a pretty good life. So you feel in some way beholden to defend them because if something changes in policy, maybe your job will change. Maybe your wages will change. Maybe your benefits will change. I used to carry water for billionaires and the corporation I work for too. So I mean that sincerely. Like I understand why you're doing it. Like I really do. But the truth is that you had to choose a corporation and sell your body to it for the right to go to the doctor, for the right to have any benefits. And none of us should be doing that. Like that's the reality.
So do you pay for your own health insurance?
I don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
Oh, why
Oh
not?
yeah,
You
like
get-
if I hypothetically did, like we don't work
Yeah.
for companies, so like we don't. There's
can't-
no one to
no,
give
so you
us
can't
health
afford it, and the
insurance.
government's not giving it to you. Oh man, that sucks. Damn.
That's a lot of people. Did you know that? That's like it's
Yeah.
like
so
80 million
Pickles
people.
said on the last live he hasn't been to the doctor in how long?
12
how long
years.
did you say you
I'm
haven't been?
36. I'm due for a
Pickles
finger
is
in my butt.
Probably. Yeah, it's time for a colonoscopy, Pickles. Like we gotta pull some money. Give Pickles some money. He needs a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
have you guys paid taxes yet on your income from TikTok?
Not yet.
This
No,
your
this
first-
I've only been doing this for 2 months.
Oh, okay. This is your first year.
I
doing
did.
it.
I mean, I made like zero money last year. Like, but yeah, like on whatever I made, which was next to nothing on TikTok. Yes, I did.
So be prepared.
But I mean, it like it was nothing.
Be
Like
prepared.
any money I make, I just reinvest it. You know what I mean? It's because I just have to spend it on electronics and things I need. So like I'm just essentially reinvesting it back into.
Well,
the
be
business.
prepared
But
to
again, I didn't
save.
make
Might as well just save like half because you're going to pay Fed, state, and FICA.
All
Working
right.
for a
Listen,
corporation-
Buster, you're
working
you're,
for a
you're talking to two
corporation,
serial entrepreneurs. We got this figured out. We got it.
I used to be a freelancer. Okay, I know what it's like, and you're going to be very surprised.
I've been
You have to
streaming
pay.
for 6 years
We-
full time.
yeah.
I'm very aware.
Yeah, we're the business owner, we're the employee. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks paying all those taxes. You are absolutely we pay an exorbitantly high amount of taxes.
And the corporation pays half of my FICA taxes, so it's pretty nice.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Well,
W2.
we've had you up for
Anything
like an
else?
hour.
Anything else, W2?
Yeah. You have anything like I'll let you say one more thing, but we're gonna get to the next guest soon.
I'm gonna follow you. Come back. Oh wait, you're private. Never mind.
One more thing. Who do you get that's going to go up against J.D. Vance?
Kamala. I don't know. Pete Buttigieg.
In hand-to-hand combat, or what are you talking about? In a game of pickleball? What do you mean go up against?
Why are you being ignorant? You know who I'm talking. You know what I'm
I
talking
know.
about.
Like
I truly.
run?
I'm asking you.
Run
When you
against
say
him?
go up against, what do you mean?
Yeah, 2028.
Oh, like I mean, I don't know if it's our choice, but I'm thinking it's giving Gavin. It's giving.
Ooh, Gavin.
We got
Daddy Gavin. Daddy Gavin would.
Well,
wipe
he's
the
running
floor.
the fourth largest economy in the world, so I mean, he's got the resume.
I
But-
love that. I love that talking point. They have the fourth largest economy in the world, and yet they can't seem to take care of their homeless people. What
Because
is
they're
up
too
with
busy
that?
paying for the rest of the
Yours-
nation's shortcomings. They pay 25%
that
of the
you-
federal
you're so
budget,
confused.
and if they
They
didn't
got
have to, they'd have plenty to go around. But you guys
All
are
those-
so bad at paying your own state's bills that they have to do it for you.
And what is it like 5-6 years? in a
Show him
row?
the map. Show him the map.
5-6 years in a row. People are
No,
fleeing
but
California.
you need to understand,
Fleeing
Chunk,
California
that
for
really.
Texas.
Hey,
They're
Chunk,
fleeing
listen,
California
Chunk,
for North
you don't
Carolina.
want to die on this hill
Fleeing
because you're wrong.
California for
California is
Nashville.
paying for all the red states.
And why is everybody leaving?
I don't know.
That has nothing to.
It's
look,
not. It's like their population decreased by like 0.8 last year. I don't know if that's like the big gotcha you say it is. More people are moving per capita from Florida to California than California to Florida.
That's not maybe last year, but during the pandemic, it was the complete opposite. Florida was the #1 state in the nation that transplants moved to.
Yeah, and then they died there. Tight.
And then they died there.
You do need to understand though that California's GDP is supporting all of the red states. They are. It like your red states are on welfare. All these states that are red, they can't manage their budget.
Yeah,
They're not producing a surplus. I'm literally I mean this is true. If we didn't have California to support all where all these Republicans come from, and they're like, oh, lower my taxes and all this stuff. It's California. They exist at California's leisure because California supports
Yeah.
them with welfare.
And then
They're
they
a
go, hey,
welfare
come here.
state.
We'll lower our taxes even more. And we can't even pay our own bills, but we're going to lower your taxes even more. Let's do it. They're so dumb.
California is your daddy.
And North
Say
Carolina.
thank you, Daddy Newsom. Thank you for supporting me and giving me welfare.
If Newsom's your guy, you're going to be in trouble. You better figure out somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to me and Pickles. we'll put our heads
It's a
together.
shame that it's a shame that you only got the one guy who runs.
Dude,
the
you guys
shitty
don't
state.
even, you guys haven't an actual policy platform since 2016. You guys been running on a vibe, a dude that paints his face orange. Don't even with us.
Trump's going to be in office.
I know. And meanwhile, you have a problem with drag queens reading stories. Trump gets up and puts on makeup every single day and screams at everyone. And then for some reason, you have a problem with men wearing makeup. But why are all the Republicans? Matt Gaetz wears more makeup than most of my friends.
Have you
that
seen
are
that
drag
fucking
queens.
dude?
It's the strangest
Even his
thing.
Botox
I
lady
don't
hates
get
him.
it.
The way she fucking
Oh my gosh,
dude,
I
she
know,
has to
those
do it
fillers.
intentionally. She has to. He looks like
About the RNC. Oh my
yeah,
god.
he looks like Jack Nicholson's the Joker.
Well, and this is not me. This was a Republican representative who, because a lot of them hate Gates, and one of them, like at the RNC, because right the night before Gates did his speech, he went and got a bunch of fillers and Botox, and someone, I can't remember his name, I'll look it up. It might have been Waltz. I can't remember, but he said that he looks like a blow up sex doll, an AI blow up sex doll.
All right,
I'm
Chunk.
sorry,
Well, you
sorry, you guys.
yeah, just one more thing, and then I gotta get, and then you gotta go on get.
Okay, what's up?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna give
yeah,
you one more
that's-
thing.
Oh, just one more thing. I'm sorry
Yeah.
you guys just got destroyed under every demographic and the electoral college and the popular vote and the Supreme Court's fucked for years and years, decades really. Good luck with Gavin Newsom and maybe stop transitioning children. That would be a good idea. Okay.
Stop cutting their genitals when they're born. Stop doing weird circumcisions and shit. How about that?
Wow, way to be a bigot there at the end.
A big.
Freaking wiener cutters.
Cited some bigotry. It's just super strange that Republican men can all wear makeup, but for some reason they don't want anyone else to. I find it very strange. When Republican men give up their makeup, then everyone else everyone else will give up theirs.
Yellow.
Hello. What up, Felice? It's been a while.
Eric,
Yep,
long time no hear.
I know. What happened to your partner, RTP?
I don't know. He's fine, right? I honestly don't know. I mean, I think he's fine.
Yeah, that's you guys used to stream a lot. I was just, what happened to your partner in crime?
I honestly, Eric, why don't you go ask him? Oh, are you blocked? Is this another one of these moments where Republican men come find me and want to talk to me about Jay? I don't understand your guys' weird obsession, but you just have to talk to him if you want to talk. Go see Jay about Jay.
Yeah. Next time I talk to him, I'll ask him. I was just curious your opinion. That's all. But I guess you don't have one.
We ain't trying to do no laundry out here in public.
For sure. So anyway, it's really hilarious how you think that the Republican Party is not that bright, and it's really funny on how you put down them over and over for not being that bright. Man,
Who said that?
you just did. You were just saying it to the other gentleman that you were speaking to. They're so stupid. Just put Gavin Newsom, bro. Do you know Gavin Newsom's track record? Do you know he's got three?
Eric really is gonna. Eric's from Sacramento. Let me give you some background.
Yeah, I'm from
on
California,
Eric,
bro.
and
So I'm just
I
telling
know
you.
you are. How's Grandma,
So-
by the way? Is Grandma okay?
She's doing
Is-
great. She actually voted for the
is-
big DT this time.
Is
Tell her I said
this
hi.
track record that Gavin Newsom has? Is it going to line up at all with Trump's? Is it better or worse?
Google search
Or-
California being $550 billion in debt real quick.
Okay, but you know their GDP is
Google
like 3
search
points-
modern monetary
It's
theory. Do you
$3.7
understand that
trillion
most of
dollars.
yeah.
So they got that
That
covered.
means nothing.
It's literally nothing compared to the GDP of the United States, which is like 25 trillion. We're like 30 trillion in debt. They're kind of ahead, way ahead. They could pay that off in like a month
So why didn't they?
because it's better to have a deficit and have the money in the hands of the people. A small deficit is better.
Yeah, debt is not a bad thing. Especially when most of the U.S. debt, like there's some really good documentaries on modern monetary theory and stuff. We owe the most of the money we actually owe. The U.S. owes to itself. We owe to different departments of ourselves. We actually could forgive a huge amount of our debt.
Okay, so do you know each state has a net or a positive? Do you know that?
Yeah, I have the
Because
map.
you were saying that.
It's right
You
here.
were saying
I understand how to
Right, so
balance,
you
but
were-
yeah, that's the map.
so you were saying California. Hey, no, that's not. That's a map, bro. Okay, Google search what states.
Yes, that's a map,
what
Eric.
states are net positive.
The green states are positive. The red states are negative.
So if California's 550 billion in debt, that map's wrong.
This is
Like I
because
said,
they
you
have to
you
pay
can
federal.
Google
They have to
search-
listen for every dollar that California pays in federal debt or in federal programs. They get negative $6 back. They don't get any money. But when these states send in $1, they get like $8 back because they're poor. They haven't figured out the economy yet, so they just have blocks. They need money. They're little kids. They don't know how to do it yet.
So you really think California is doing great right now?
It's fan-fucking-tastic. What about California
What
to
state?
you is
What state
bad?
do you live? What state do you live in?
I'm in Texas.
So how could if
know where I am,
don't
Eric.
live in Texas, how could I tell you Texas is doing amazing if I don't
Because
live there?
there's things like data.
Okay, yeah, cool. Data can fucking lie to you.
Oh, so you know the vibe because you've got the real data?
Well, man, if you live in an area and you know what's going on in the area, right?
Yeah.
And you know drug use is horrible. They're
Uh-huh.
not punishing anybody for it. They just passed Prop 36, so now they will be. But they're allowing people just to fucking do a free for all. I mean, literally.
What do you mean? Like robbing stores?
Like doing that, like fucking smoking crack,
They're
right?
carrying
Okay.
refrigerators
So
out of Walmart.
did you know that
Yeah.
here in Texas you have to steal $2,500 before it's a felony, and in California it's $950?
Well, damn, dude. People might don't announce that too loud because people love the 950 here. They'll be coming into Texas next.
It's Trump that announced it at all his Trump rallies. Trump's the ones that yells that all the time.
Even better.
Yeah. So California's a little more strict. It's not a free for all at all, is it?
Well, when it was 450, it wasn't happening as bad. So you tell me. So
I
when it
don't
was
know.
450, it wasn't happening as bad. There wasn't smash and
but this
grabs.
isn't the
There wasn't all
1980s
this shit
anymore.
happening.
Things don't cost fucking blueberry muffins. They cost real money now. We had inflation. 450 used to be a lot of money.
Oh, so so it should have gone up for the thieves.
Sure.
Guys, tap the screen. Let's
Sure.
get Pickles to 300,000 because it makes him smile.
I just got to.
You guys, in about 5 minutes, Eric's going to bring up the Clintons. Watch. This is going to go
I need a
down
butthurt emails hat.
conspiratorial rabbit hole where he's going to talk about a million different conspiracy theories about the Clintons. That's how this will go. I
I need
promise.
some butthurt emails hat chat. I'm gonna put one on my Amazon wish list. All right, Team Trump, are you there? You refilling the Kool-Aid?
Tap, tap, tap.
Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 300K.
We can do it. Finger workout. Carpal tunnel.
Man, my energy drink is strong. It's almost syrupy.
What kind of energy drinks do you drink? Out of curiosity, I might have to start.
I
I
usually
haven't
do.
been on energy drinks since the tech industry.
So I used to have a partnership with G Fuel. You know who they are?
Oh,
have
you were like a sponsored gamer who was like hopped up on energy drinks?
Yeah, I had
That's awesome.
code Pickles. I believe it still works. If you want 10% off at G Fuel.
G Fuel? I'm going to look it up.
Team Trump's gone, dude. All right. We're gonna let him get back to eating yellow snow.
I am not invested into the Clintons. Eric is invested into the Clintons. Eric enjoys talking about the Clintons. It's his favorite topic. I think Eric might be the first person I ever like debated on this app. It's like probably Eric or HVAC. Which, by the way, let's all pray for HVAC. He seems not well.
We were debating the economy and red versus blue states.
Someone said, doesn't G-Phil have lead or something or some shit?
It would explain a lot if it
Pickles
did.
is Pickles. We really need to get Pickles to the doctor.
I do have the lead paint stare. Hello?
All right, buddy. So I was trying to talk, but I don't know if you heard me. Maybe my shit got cut. I don't know.
We
what
can't
happened,
hear you
but
when you're out of the app.
long story short is they have a very good pointed people in positions that are going to shake the whole government. Okay. And that's why
You mean
Trump
people
supporters-
good at essaying women? Like what are they good at? We seem to have a theme
They're not
of people
they're
who
Trump
wildly
supporters just think about
unqualified.
everything
allegedly attacked
everything that
women.
Eugene Carroll did. You didn't see the book she wrote with 21 different men that were all bad people in her, bad men in her life that did horrible things to her, and she didn't include Trump in the book.
Nope, the real Eric's coming out. Are you trying to S shame? What are you doing right now?
Trump's lawyer came out and said that the whole fucking case was bogus.
Oh,
And
Oh,
they didn't
damn.
Trump's lawyer said that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
well,
breaking.
here's how it works. Unfortunately, Trump's lawyer is not the jury. A jury of Trump's peers heard the real evidence, Eric, and said, you are liable for
And I
SA.
know that. You don't have to repeat it. I've heard it from all you guys. Because guess what? That's all you guys say over and over and over and over and over again. But it didn't work. We still fucking won.
Wait till you won.
You
Trump
guys
lost
trying to
that
ruin
case,
his
Eric.
reputation. You try to put him
Trump
in prison.
lost that
you guys
case,
try to
Eric.
assassinate his ass.
Trump,
And guess what?
Trump is an
You won 'em all,
adjudicated
baby.
rapist. He's an adjudicated rapist.
So is Joe Biden. He was at the Diddy
No, he's
parties.
not.
What's up?
Okay, you don't know what
So
the
was
word
Obama.
adjudicate.
You've
You
been
do
told
not
on
know what
by
the word
multiple people that were
adjudicated
at these
means
parties.
very clearly. But
What are
okay.
you smoking, Trump?
He's spreading Russian propaganda. This is
hell?
what Eric does.
You don't listen to Jaguar Wright talking about all the Puff Daddy cases?
No, I listen. I like
Yeah,
read up on
that-
politics, not celebrity fucking criminals.
Yeah, well,
Trump,
guess what?
Trump has enough. to
Obama
cover.
had paid Puff Daddy to tell his whole fan base to not vote for
Thank you.
Trump.
I love that.
And when did he do that? And why did he tell his whole fan base that they were going to be fucked if Trump won? It wasn't his fan base that was going to be fucked. It was Puff Daddy and all his celebrity friends that were going to be fucked if Trump won.
But wait, he got arrested during Biden's presidency.
Yeah, it was Biden's
Yeah.
DOJ that indicted
I wonder
him.
why.
So,
Do you think that had
so
anything
again,
to do
it
with
was
Biden getting
Biden's
shafted?
DOJ.
How does this work for you
it
both
was
ways?
Biden's DOJ.
So listen,
the hell?
Yeah. Your
does it
line
have-
of logic
You don't
just
think
collapsed,
Biden was
Eric.
mad for being shifted to the side?
No, Eric, that logic didn't make sense, and you know it. That's very strange.
the
That
hell?
you're running
Biden isn't
a
even in
circle.
his right mind right now. So Joe Biden told his
Hey.
his DOJ to go arrest Puff Daddy.
I'm sure Biden
What do you?
has nothing
Oh,
to
I
do
forgot.
with it. Honestly,
You guys just so to
You
give
guys
you
just-
some background on Eric. Eric is one of the folks that believes that Biden
mean-
is in a basement somewhere, and Obama is wearing him like a skin suit and
You didn't see
controlling
the
him.
video?
So-
Obama said he wished he had a third term.
we had
Maybe if
Trump.
you
We
saw
have
the
one
Told
from
you.
Trump
Did you guys
recently,
think
don't
I
we?
was exaggerating? Did
Maybe
you hear
if you
it?
saw the
Eric
video-
believes.
Maybe
Eric
if you-
believes
please.
that
I guess you
Obama
just didn't
has
see the video.
Biden tied up in a basement, and he's
I
wearing.
never
his
said he had
skin.
him tied up in a basement, you weirdo.
You said he. You told me he was in a basement. You told
No,
me
you
that,
didn't
Eric.
hear what I said. I said what Obama said. What Obama said out of that man's mouth was, I would like to be in a basement with a microphone in my ear running the third term.
So
if I had
did
somebody
you
to
guys see?
take
Am
that
I
place-
exaggerating, or
If
did
had
I tell
somebody
the
to
exact
take that
truth?
place that would do that, I would be gladly to run as third president with a microphone in my ear in a basement.
You're wild,
That's
bro.
what that fuck
You're
said.
wild. You're wild. I know he
So,
said
well,
it,
so-
but that's a
do you
joke.
guys remember-
I repeated Obama?
That's a joke.
Do you guys
was a joke.
remember during the DNC when
yeah,
Kamala
a
was
joke to
speaking
you.
and all MAGA was saying, "Do you see that earpiece in her ear? Do you see that earpiece?" If you're ever wondering what they're talking about, they're saying that like they're like Kamala was wearing an earpiece during the election.
Yeah,
and
you
that,
didn't
like,
see-
Obama is
Wait.
feeding her lies to say
You
no, and I'm
think-
not kidding. He really this is
Real,
what
real
he
quick,
thinks.
you never looked up pearl microphones before?
Eric,
Pearl
I
earring
did. They
microphones?
didn't
more
look like
extreme
them.
than even the last time
Did you
I'm
look up?
talking.
Did
to
you ever
like, I
look
talked
up
to you.
double hinged pearl? I believe it's Tiffany and Co. Did you ever look those up?
Wait, say that
I
again.
love that you know
talking
about
about
all these
necklace?
conspiracy theories too, Pickles.
Well, I'm
Eric's really gonna look them up.
She was in another video adjusting her earpiece in another video.
Eric, don't die on this hill. Don't die on the
You
hill.
act like
Obama's
everything
in
she
her
said
ear.
was made up from the heart. Everything she said was the same thing she said at every rally.
Eric, why do you not believe that she is unequivocally qualified to be president?
If
of
she
the
was
United
qualified,
States?
the bitch would have won.
Oh my God, you gotta chill,
Wow.
bro. She
I'm
is
just saying, if you
qualified.
were-
It doesn't mean
if she
like
was
you guys.
qualified,
You guys
she would've won.
vote in radically unqualified people like Reagan, an actor, or Trump, somebody was a reality
Yeah,
TV
you
show
were
star.
Bro,
You were
were
just
gonna
saying
vote
Trump's
somebody in
cabinet
that
is
got the
qualified.
worst
Trump's
rating when she
cabinet
tried to run
is
as president against-
unequivocally unqualified.
When she tried to run against Biden, bro, she didn't get any.
Trump was
He
not
dropped out
qualified to
first.
be president. Trump is, a matter of fact, the opposite of qualified. He should be disqualified.
Why don't you look up pearl microphone earring too at the same time?
I will.
Look how much misogyny oozes out of Eric.
Misogyny.
A woman couldn't. A woman who
RTP was
passed
the
the
biggest
California bar,
misogynistic,
the most
narcissistic
rigorous,
motherfucker,
the most
and you rode
rigorous
right
bar
with it.
exam, the most rigorous bar exam in the world. But she can't. She can't have someone. She can't get on stage and give a speech. There must be a man in her ear telling her what to say.
Okay, so on the left is the Tiffany and Co. earring. On the right here, that's the exact earring Kamala has on. And even further right is this weird fucking earring paired with two more loops. Do you see the two loops hanging down? Yeah, that's not what she's wearing. The earring to the right
They
of
got a
that,
few
though.
different ones. They
Yeah.
got a few different ones.
No, they
just
don't.
got that
No,
one
they don't.
going.
It's just this one. This is the exact earring
they
she's
do.
wearing. I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
I mean, I'm not tripping, bro. I saw the video of her backstage and
Womp,
getting
womp,
video
womp.
from somebody. She was speaking to somebody, and then she started talking to somebody through a microphone
Okay.
in her ear and it was a pearl earring.
Have you ever tried to talk with somebody talking to you? I literally do this. I have headphones and I hear my own words in real time as I'm talking. But if there's even like a 30 millisecond delay, I can't think. My brain breaks. Can you imagine doing a debate live with someone yapping and you having to articulate the exact words coming into your ear, out of your mouth, with tone and everything? Like there's nothing in that debate that made it look like she was listening to anybody or repeating something someone was saying. These were all thoughts she was having, and you guys are just weirdos. You guys make yourself look really weird. If you die on this hill, it's fucking weird. You guys are weird.
Yeah, whatever, bro. You can say we're weird all you want. I guess it helps you guys out. Makes you feel better.
No, I'm just
Okay,
describing
because we're
you.
not weird. What we're doing is we're taking our country back because we pay the taxpayers. The taxpayers pay for these jobs of these political people that don't do shit for us, that act like they do. Okay,
So
they act like.
I bet you $100.
like-
I bet you $100. If I asked you something that Trump did for the American people that was for us, you wouldn't be able to tell me. And if I told you that Biden did several things for the American people, way more than Trump, you wouldn't believe me, even if I told you the things.
And guess what? Vice versa. If I told you a bunch of things, you wouldn't believe me either.
What did Trump
and
do?
guess what?
What was so pro-America? What was America First that Trump did?
Built up our military.
Okay, but that didn't help the economy. That was a $2.2 trillion
Every
investment in the
president
military.
has increased the size of the military.
That was one of the 14
Every
tenets of
president.
fascism, I guess. That's tight.
So you don't know what he did to help boost the economy?
What
You don't know the benefits he did.
besides his tax cuts for the rich, what else did he do that was so brilliant?
Man, you guys are clueless.
So you don't
the
know
government
either? You could tell me real quick,
You
can't
don't
you?
think the government overspends?
You don't. So who do you think
You
spent
think
more,
the
Trump or
government
Biden?
spending for all these 10 million plus illegals is
Do,
benefiting us?
do you think
That
Biden?
didn't happen when Trump was in office.
Do you think Biden spent more than Trump?
It did, Eric. It did happen when Trump was in office. Trump took money from the disaster relief fund. Trump actually took money from hurricane and flood victims and gave and spent it at the border for
think
the
you're a little-
people, for the undocumented people you're referring to.
Yeah,
Trump
you're a little-
is actually in 2019 did that. What
you
you
don't have
accused
a
Biden
thing.
of doing, Trump did.
You don't have a thing that Trump did for the economy. You're just like being vague. You're like, you don't think he did nothing? What did he do?
the steel workers that backed Trump at his rally?
Protectionism.
Okay, so
what they
what
said
did he
they
do?
did- Let me tell you, for the middle class, the steel workers, they said that the tariffs that they put on China saved the steel workers' jobs.
Okay,
they
and
thanked
Biden
him.
increased those tariffs as well.
So now I thought you weren't for tariffs though.
I'm not for blanket
Okay,
tariffs.
but I just can I say something though about those tariffs? Because I just want to make a comment. I agree.
One minute you want to say
Listen,
Biden increases tariffs, but next
No,
minute you're
I
not
wanna
for
say something.
tariffs.
Not
well,
for
I want to
blanket
say the
tariffs.
actual fact about the steel tariffs. I want to say something about the steel tariffs. There are isolated incidents and people in the steel industry who anecdotally will say, "Oh, I think that was good." But overall, did that actually help the steel industry? No, it did not. And it
Well,
didn't
then why-
when
then
Biden
why
did
did the
either.
steel
Well, I'm
worker
telling
pay-
you why. Well, let me just say,
I don't trust you, Felice. I trust the
protectionism,
steel worker. Okay.
protectionism, which is that's what I'm saying tariffs are. The benefit to that, it's not about, it doesn't help our US economy. It doesn't help consumers in the US economy. What it does is it gets you votes.
It brings
And
back
you're
jobs.
just-
You
so,
know that,
but
right?
Eric, no, it doesn't, Eric.
So do you know
Eric,
it's
we
cheaper
were
to
just
make
talking,
products in other
Eric, we
countries?
were just talking to a steel worker the last time I was up here debating with Pickles, and I showed him articles to prove that the steel tariffs made in certain places lost jobs. It's not true. But protectionism gets you votes.
So, Felice.
Look, I can show you right now. I'll pull up an article and I'll show you
Okay,
that
you
steel
can-
tariffs
you don't
made
have
steel
to pull me
workers
up the
lose their
article.
jobs. Okay, because you
I
know I
believe-
will too, Eric. You know I will.
I believe what your article says. Okay, now listen to me real quick. How many plants? Where does iPhone make their phones?
China,
How many plants do they have in China to make phones?
a bajillion.
I don't know the number.
They had 7. When Trump put the tariffs on, it made it not cheaper to build iPhones in China and send them here. So what they did is they made their 8th plant in the USA, which gave 10,000 United States citizens jobs.
What
okay?
tariffs are you
10,000
saying
whole
did that?
jobs? Biden created
That's
15
not
million.
anything. Do you understand how big Apple is? That is literally like saying, yeah, that's nothing, Eric.
Okay, so do you think Apple should be able to be
Okay,
allowed
Eric,
to
Eric, was Trump good on jobs? Was Trump a good jobs
Apple
president?
should be allowed to build phones in China for a couple bucks and sell them to us for $1,500 and keep building them in China for slave labor and then selling them to everybody around the world, getting rich? Do you think that's fair?
Julie,
No,
thank you for the
listen,
$5.
Just like I do not like the rise of authoritarianism in America, I do not approve of the authoritarian government in China. No.
Okay, well, guess what? The authoritarian government was the one that was trying to put Trump in prison and have him assassinated.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, Eric.
Well, if they could, they would have made it better a long time ago. They know that they could do all these things that Trump's trying to do and his team is trying to do. They don't want to do
Eric.
it, and they try to make Trump look bad the whole time that he didn't do anything good
Eric,
because they could have done.
Trump was
everything he
not
did
good
the
on
whole time.
jobs. That's the bottom line. The line of logic we're on is about jobs.
Unemployment was the
Democrats
lowest for all
Democrats
races
create
when Trump was
jobs,
in
not
office.
Republicans.
Democrats don't create jobs.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we've created all the jobs.
Okay,
here's,
so
here's all the
this year is
charts.
the highest year.
Here,
in
let us
business-
show you a graph,
This year
Eric.
is the
Let us show
highest
you a
year in
picture of who's
business
created.
bankruptcies.
Look at this. This is real, Eric. Democrats have created pretty
Police.
much all of the
Police.
jobs.
Did you know
Look
this
at the
year
graph,
is?
Eric.
Did you know this year?
So
is the
again,
high-
if you want to talk about jobs,
Police.
say thank you, Democrats.
you
for
know this year
creating
is
jobs.
the highest year in business bankruptcies in the last 13 years.
Okay, again,
So
you're
if
off topic.
We still
Democrats
have
are
jobs.
building jobs, why is it the
So again-
highest year of
So again,
bankruptcies for
thanks
businesses
Obama.
in 13 years?
Thanks Clinton. I know you love Bill Clinton. Thanks Clinton. Thanks Obama. Thanks Joe Biden for all these jobs.
Police, if they're all corrupt, well, how would you feel that you were defending
No,
them the whole time?
we were talking about creating jobs for the American people.
So what
that
I
was
said
your
was-
argument, and I'm saying
what are you
thank
saying about the
Obama and
13-year
Clinton
high
and
for-
Joe Biden for the jobs.
They created the jobs, even if they're corrupt. They did it.
13-year high for business bankruptcies. 400.
And how is that
Nike
Biden's
stores
fault?
closing. How is that building the economy?
Because our
How is that
GDP
building
and
jobs?
wages are outpacing inflation. We have 8 million open jobs
Bro,
and
if it's the
4.1%
highest year in
unemployment.
business
I know you have some
bankruptcy,
weird niche statistic for us, but that's not an economic indicator we look at right now when we're talking about
It's the highest year
economic
of
growth.
business bankruptcies, bro, and you can't acknowledge it.
Okay,
You're still trying to say
okay,
that Joe Biden
I-
is
I
building
highly doubt it.
jobs
I'm sure
when that's
2020 beat
jobs that
that.
are being lost by the thousands.
Oh no, but we're creating jobs by the millions.
How? With what
So
business?
again, Eric,
What
all
positions?
the jobs
Which ones
in
are doing this? What-
modern America
what
have been
companies
created.
are hiring all these?
Did
Come
you
on, buddy.
did okay, I'll show you right now. Do you want
Have
to
you
see?
looked at the graph?
Have you seen this before? This is all the businesses Biden, Daddy, Papa, Big Papa Biden, Daddy Biden. You see all
Thanks,
these
Joe
dots?
Biden.
See all these dots? Those are all the
Thanks, Joe-
businesses
thanks,
we're
Joe
talking
Biden.
about. That's the Chips and Science Act and Inflation Reduction Act.
You are
Look at all that.
hilarious, bro.
Look at that.
You
Jobs
are
announced 413. Look at that. Crane, Indiana.
Job
$236
chicken
million
pox.
in
You didn't hear
enhanced
Bernie Sanders.
semiconductors.
Bernie Sanders
that.
already said he's going to help Trump cut the 30% interest rates from credit cards to 10%.
Okay.
Everybody's helping
What
Trump.
does that have to do with this?
You just got clowns still
I-
hating on Trump like you.
Okay, again, you've pivoted again. We're not talking about that, but I do love Bernie Sanders, and I think it's great that regardless of who's in power, Bernie Sanders is always working for the American people. I absolutely love that about him.
Yeah, Bernie will be lucky to
Harry
get on.
Raid, cool. Thank you guys.
What?
So like I said, everybody is now trying to work with Trump because he's going to make America great again.
Okay, that
And our
sounds
case can make
good, but
America
he doesn't have a
healthy.
plan. There's no plan. He doesn't have a plan written down. This is just like
Yeah,
this big cult following. You
That's
just
right.
trust him.
Vivek and Elon don't have a plan. Nobody has a plan. He's just
They
placing all
don't.
these
It's not on paper
positions.
anywhere.
You guys are hilarious. Watch what happens. He's creating his team before he even gets in office.
I know.
And then
How do
watch
you
what
how do you feel
happens.
about that? How do you feel about Matt Gates, Attorney General?
I love it.
Building
Why
up
do you
that
love
team
that?
of men
you know who
who've
hates it? All
attacked
the
women.
corrupt people. All the corrupt people are scared as fuck of Matt Gates being Attorney General.
Why?
Women are scared of Matt
I
Gates and
love
children.
it, dog.
Women and
Why do you think
children
we
that
voted
he's
for Trump,
trafficked.
bro. We voted for Trump to put all these people in great positions. So
Wildly
Eric, you're
unqualified
cheering
people?
for a child S trafficker.
That's what we're
right
doing.
now.
He's wildly unqualified,
Really?
Yes,
So
really.
Kamala, who did
He's
Kamala
never
Harris have
worked
picked
in the
for her team?
DOJ. The only his only proximity to the DOJ, Eric, was being investigated for child S trafficking. That's it.
Karen, thank
Who?
you for the subscription. Matt Gates.
Gates.
He had a House Ethics
and he-
Committee
and he-
report coming out the day
and
before
it was
or day
clear.
after he fucking resigned because he didn't want that
And
to
it
come
was-
out.
It was clear.
It was what was clear. Everyone in politics right now is throwing up on live television because of the Matt Gates pick, and you're sitting here backing it full throatedly like a weirdo.
Like a
We
weirdo.
don't even have to
I just-
trash Matt
I just
Gates.
told you why. Matt
Republicans
Gates
are
got that
trashing him.
clear. And everybody tries
Hey,
to smear somebody's
Republicans are
reputation that's gonna
trashing
take them down.
him.
Yeah,
it's
that's saying
not
Matt Gates did some-
Democrats. It's Republicans.
Guess what, bro? I bet you if you ran and you were trying to do the right thing, it didn't matter if you were good or bad, right
This
or
is all
left.
Eric's an apologist, just like Eric attacked
listen.
Eugene Carroll. This is what he does. When
Police, I
women are
promise you,
hurt,
if you
Eric
were running
then
to try to make everything
gaslights.
better, they would do the same thing to you. Okay, that's their tactics. You don't know what these people do. Will try to ruin their reputation, and then people like you will spread all this misinformation over and over and over.
When I first met you, Eric, You
Please.
were online.
Why do you
were
cut me
screaming
off?
that Joe Biden was on Epstein's plane. Then you
said
were
Bill
screaming,
was.
"It's all gonna come out." No,
I said Bill
no,
was.
you didn't. You said it's all gonna come out. It's all gonna come out. Biden was on
Please.
Epstein's plane, and when it
Please.
came out that
I didn't
that it was
say
in
Joe
fact it was
Biden
Trump
was.
who was when it came out that Trump was Epstein's best friend, did you hold him accountable, Eric?
not
or did you
Trump's best
you
friend.
gaslight women? Did you gaslight women?
He's
when
not Trump's
when he
best
was
friend.
found liable, when he is found liable for essaying a woman in a court of law by a jury of his peers, you gaslit women.
Hey, guess what?
Matt Gaetz is investigated for child trafficking. You gaslight women.
And he fucking was acquitted.
Trump's Secretary
He
of
wasn't
Defense
acquitted?
pick, Pete Hegseth,
Yes, he
raped a
was.
woman in
If he was
Santa
guilty,
Barbara
he'd be charged,
and
right?
paid her off. And you gaslight women. You would explain
Yeah.
away anything, Eric. Open your
Please.
eyes. Hold someone
Chat,
accountable.
follow the stream if you
What are
enjoy
you- what are you
debates.
gonna
Harry
do?
Raid, thank you so much for the raid, Harry. And Tana, thank
How are
you
you
for
guys gonna feel when you hear about all these people going
Thank you
down?
so much, Tana. Tana said, love you
I-
and your views. Thank you.
How are you guys going to feel when you hear everybody going down?
Going
That you
down.
backed this whole time.
So wait,
Go-
this probably
going
the
down.
same
Elon
way
Musk
you
said he
felt.
was
Probably the
Elon
same way.
Musk said him and Trump were releasing the Diddy list, the
J-
Epstein list,
we-
and
we-
what happened to JFK, the aliens, and about the Earth.
All right, all
Don't
right.
forget the
but
lizard
you
people,
guys
Eric.
don't care.
Don't
Talk
forget
about
the
aliens
lizard
in
people.
court, right? They said they came from the ocean.
You guys don't care. You guys don't care when these things are released.
Yeah, I
you say
did
it's
play
just
the Lauren
the deep
Boebert
state.
clip of Lauren Boebert being like,
No, that's not
aliens
the only
actually live
thing.
under the ocean. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
that's
see
not the
that.
only
That's-
thing. There was
Yeah,
four
she
people.
gets a congressional
there was
pension
four
on
people
our
that
tax dollars.
testified
She's
about
investigating
UFOs.
aliens that live underwater.
Police,
Oh
you
my
didn't see the
goodness,
four
the
different people that
UFOs.
testified about it?
Oh no.
You just like to take little clips that go viral. Lauren Boebert said
No, I
something
watched.
about it.
No, I watched some. I watched that hearing because I needed to laugh because there's so much BS.
So they're all
going on.
lying,
yeah,
right?
I watched. You know, I watched congressional hearings, Eric. You know
So they're
I
all
do.
lying, Felice? There's no aliens.
Oh,
underneath
wait,
the
hold
ocean?
on. They did not say. No, wait. I just want to clarify. Nobody that was testifying at that hearing said there was. Lauren Boebert asked them, and they said that like there was like a report
You're
of
lying.
like a place where there. No, let me
You didn't
finish. There was a
watch it.
hotbed.
You didn't
I
watch
did.
it.
They. Can I finish speaking? They said that there was a port where an orb came up out of the ocean, and there was a specific area where there was like and met like another orb, and there was a hotbed of activity. But what Lauren Boebert was talking about, that like the sea is actually the sky, and like we all have it wrong because of gravity, and the aliens are actually underwater. No, they did not say that. She asked, and he said, "I only know what's in this report."
I listened to the congressional hearing too, and there's videos of it going viral on TikTok, and they said a lot more than what you're saying. Sorry. So anyway, long story short, they lied to us about everything. Everything's about to come out.
Okay, Aquaman's real. Can we move on, please?
Dude, I don't.
Yeah,
I
Trump
like
won,
like
and
we,
Trump's
we
gonna
already
fix about the
released
shit
we already
that's
released some of the Epstein stuff where a 13-year-old came out and accused Trump of doing some really heinous stuff, and you're like, nah. Like
Yeah,
not
no.
that stuff. Only stuff that looks bad for y'all. That's what y'all care about.
No, you only care about stuff that looks bad for Trump. So if you cared about stuff that looked bad for
W.
your own
Dawn,
party,
thanks for
if
all
you-
the lightning
If you
bolts
cared
for
about
picking
your own
us.
party the way you want us to care about our own party, that would be a different story. But you guys brush off every single thing that comes your way. You defend
Hold
every
on.
single thing that
I do
happens
not.
that comes your guys' way, and then you want to say
No.
that we do the same thing.
You do.
No,
Trump
Eric,
has more
hold on.
luggage than
when
anyone
Gold
on
Bar
earth.
Bob,
Bullshit,
when Gold Bar
bro.
Bob,
Trump wasn't at a Diddy
Wait.
party. Trump wasn't
Hold
fucking
on.
painting in a picture on a fucking in a fucking child trafficker's house. Okay, it was Bill fucking Clinton, boy. It wasn't Trump.
Okay, so again,
Trump
I
was
just
getting
would like to
praised by the
say,
best cage
I do
fighter
hold people
in UFC.
accountable. I do
Everybody
I
in
do
the
hold
NFL
people
doing Trump
accountable.
dances. Trump is a fucking boss. We don't need punk
I
ass.
do,
but
Eric.
bitch-ass
You're getting a little
motherfuckers
bit
in
emotional.
our
Calm
politics,
down. You
bro.
gotta
Hey,
calm
we
down.
need
Cool
real
down,
hitters.
cool
What's going
down.
on with you? Yeah, you're even for you, Eric. You're a little angry tonight.
Yeah,
Just a
Uncle
little bit
Cooter
less,
needs to
'cause
chill it,
seriously,
dude.
You're really angry.
Well, because
no,
it
but listen to
fucking
me.
frustrates the fuck out of me when
Eric,
you defend
just calm
everything that
down.
these scum fucks do, but you want to say
Hey.
that Trump's
Okay,
the enemy.
again,
Trump's
no,
the
I
worst
don't.
one. Trump's stupid.
Trump's the
not
worst.
Smart.
He's got
gonna
a
lose
he
it
is.
all.
He's remarkably stupid. He's very
You're
dumb.
jealous.
So again, Eric, when
Barron
Gold
Trump
Bar
is
Bob
smarter
was
than you,
indicted,
homeboy.
what did I do, Eric?
Barron
I read
Trump is smarter than
indictment
you.
and
I
I
wonder how
said
much his dad knows
Bob
compared to you.
Menendez needs to
You're a
leave the
joke,
Senate.
dog.
When Eric Adams was indicted, what did I do? Read the entire indictment, and I know what Eric Adams did. Eric Adams needs to
Fool.
resign as mayor of New York City. Anybody that needs to be held accountable, I will hold them accountable. When Bill Clinton speaks, I feel icky. I was working for the Kamala Harris campaign as an influencer in Arizona, and Bill Clinton was giving a speech, and I was supposed to be there and live stream it, and I didn't show up because I don't think Bill Clinton treats women very well.
So guess what? All those
Period.
people that were back.
So again, Eric, you're saying I don't hold people accountable. If there is credible evidence to hold anybody accountable, I'll hold them accountable.
Okay, so
Period.
then why did Kamala and who was on Kamala's team that thought it was bright to have Usher and Beyonce?
Was that Diddy and Trump? Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
Wait
damning.
a second. That's
Oh
weird.
man. Okay,
It's, like,
Eric. So is this
everywhere.
the moment
So
where
you- so
we're
real
gonna
quick,
we're
wait a
gonna hold?
second.
Like
Oh,
I
we're
said,
up. We're gonna hold Trump.
Wait a
Eric, now it's your time to
second.
hold Trump accountable.
gonna do the
Here
same
we go,
thing with
Eric.
Obama? Look
Here
at
we go,
this.
Eric. Are we gonna hold Trump accountable?
Are you
He's
going to
like-
do the
he's
same
probably
thing with
telling him-
Obama?
Are we gonna hold Trump accountable now? Is this the
Because he
time?
took
when's
some
your-
pictures
when's
with
your
Puff
next
Daddy
party,
at some
Diddy?
events.
When's your next party? That's what he's saying
You
right
just
there.
said there was a picture of someone
your
on someone's
parties.
wall with Diddy, and that was damning. Eric,
greatest
you just
parties.
got caught in your own line of
Felice,
logic.
Felice, what
Hold
I
him
said
accountable
was
now, Eric.
they have some pictures together, and what I said was Bush was painted. A painter
No,
painted.
you said
Bush.
Bill Clinton and
Bill-
Diddy had a picture together, and that was damning enough that Bill Clinton's
I
a
didn't say-
POS. And so I'm saying
Please,
there's
can you
many
repeat what
pictures
I
of them
actually
together. So now is
Please,
the moment to
please.
hold Trump accountable.
Can you repeat what I actually said? I said Bill Clinton was painted in a picture in Epstein's house.
So
never
I
said
don't
Bill
know.
Clinton had a
I don't
picture
know.
with Puff Daddy.
I don't know.
What I
Like
said
a
was-
picture. A picture is not a
Can I
universal
finish?
benchmark for how bad someone
What I
is. We
said-
have
what I
we have
said-
all sorts of photographs, not hand painted,
Can
but
you
they're
get-
photographs.
Can you get the photographs of Obama and Puffy too?
Sure. Let me see. Is that a thing?
He paid
I have no idea.
he paid Puff Daddy to campaign for him. Yeah, it is a thing.
Okay. But this is not us coming
Wait,
out and
was
trying
that
to
when
demonize you for the
remember
Diddy
when
thing.
It was like the vote or die.
Okay,
thing?
so
Do
what
you
I'm
remember
saying
that?
is,
when the
if Diddy
campaign
was
slogan was like
connected with-
vote or die.
If Diddy was connected with Obama, and then Kamala had Beyonce, Usher, when Usher got essayed himself from P. Diddy, it's already been brought out. Usher brought in Bieber to Puff Daddy because
Okay,
Puff Daddy could
none
not
of this
adopt-
has to do with
Puff Daddy
anything.
could not adopt Usher. I mean, a Bieber. So Usher adopted Bieber. So Usher came out and spoke at Kamala's. Beyonce came
Okay,
and
so
spoke
again,
at
none of
Kamala's.
this has to do with anything.
Somebody else, Lizzo.
None of
came
this
out and
has to do
spoke.
with anything.
What it has to do with her, the reasons why she lost, because she had the whole damn near half the Diddy list. Jennifer Lopez. She had, dude. So
Jennifer
many people-
Lopez was abused by Puff Daddy. She was his girlfriend and she was one of his victims. You're not going to start gaslighting his victims. Stop, Eric. I'm not going to listen to it.
Oh, wait till
Stop.
you hear what she has.
Stop. Stop.
Usher
You're
was
not
a victim
gaslighting
too.
people
Hey,
who
real
were the
quick,
victims of
Felice.
DV.
Felice.
Stop.
Usher was a victim too. You're not a victim anymore once you participate. You got it? Once you
Eric,
bring another
sound
child to
wildly
somebody,
out
even
of
though you were a
control. I
victim,
don't know what's
even
going
though
on with
were
you
a
tonight, but
victim,
even for
you bring another
even for
child
you,
to another
you're out of
predator,
control.
you're not a victim. You're a part of this.
Even
So I
for
don't know
you,
how
Eric,
all
you're out
of these
control.
people are guilty by proximity, while Trump is like literally in closer
Yeah.
proximity to these people.
in
and
50
and,
and
yeah,
he
like
doesn't
with
hold Trump
Epstein, with
accountable.
Diddy, and then like he literally is like a playboy
You
who
guys-
has
Because
raped
Eric's
his
a
ex-wife.
giant hypocrite. Eric's
It's in
a
their court
hypocrite.
documents for the divorce, and he's also been adjudicated for sexual abuse, and he's also been accused by like 28 other people. But somehow these people campaigning is a worse thing in proximity to a sexual abuser.
That's what a lot of people took it as. Yes,
And the
that's
worst
what a
thing
lot of podcasts
is
were
you
saying as well.
gaslighting Diddy's victims. That is the worst thing of what you're doing. But
I'm
I
not
just
gaslighting shit. What
No,
I'm
but
saying is,
Eric,
if you were a
Eric, let me
victim
just
of
help
Diddy and then
you.
you
This is your
participated and got
chance
Diddy
to
more
understand.
people,
This is your chance to understand. We are not saying, like, it was not our claim that if you are in a picture with Diddy, you are guilty. You started
lost
this.
you.
You started saying
No, I did not.
there are
mute,
there are
please.
pictures of people with Diddy that
No, I did not.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear everybody.
Okay,
you may have
cool.
touched your
Well,
microphone.
I'm just saying-
or you're still mute.
Me? I think
Maybe
everyone
something on
can
your
hear me,
keyboard
but
that mutes you.
I mean, I can hear everybody.
Oh, you hear her. You can hear her. Oh,
yeah, it's you.
It sounds like a me issue.
Yeah, it's a you issue. It's a you issue. Everyone else can
I don't
hear
know
me
what to
but
do.
you.
Maybe I'll
can't
drop you
hear
real
me?
quick and come back.
I'll
Maybe
drop.
That'll fix
I'll
it.
drop. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you want to get
And,
somebody to
I
get
also
somebody
got
better.
$20 from Lindsay to drop the other guest. We probably lost connections with him too. So sorry, but big shout out to Lindsay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $20 donut. Let's see if this fixes it. Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
What the hell? Chat, do y'all hear her?
You guys can hear me, right? I can hear myself fine. Yeah, they can hear me, I think.
What
Yeah, they
the
hear
hell?
me.
Why you
This could
gotta
be
do
my
this to
sign
me,
to just go
TikTok?
to bed. I got to be on Faxes Live at 6 a.m. anyway. so
TikTok.
maybe I
Why are you
should
killing
go
me
sleep.
like this?
I really don't think I did anything either.
We're just screeching here.
Hello?
Yeah, we got a bug. I don't know what to do. I might have to restart. I hate that. We have 1,300 people. Chat, follow the stream if you guys enjoy these debates. I guess I'm gonna have to restart. Honestly, I should probably go to bed. Been on for 3.5
me
hours.
too.
I can't hear you still.
Let's go to sleep.
I
Yeah.
was kind of tired of listening to Eric, and I don't blame him.
I'm gonna
No, I can hear myself still in my headset, so it's not that. It's not that. She says me too. Yeah, okay. She's got to go to bed too. All right, chat. I might just call it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the love. I'm going to sleep. Okay, Felicia says she's going to sleep. All right, guys. Chat. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be hopefully joining Felice's page. Please give Felice a follow.
Yeah.
She has
11
an
a.m.
awesome show that she
Pacific
does every
time.
day on the weekdays.
2
I
p.m.
believe.
Eastern.
And
Yeah,
it's
11 a.m.
at 1
Pacific,
p.m.
2
Central
p.m.
Standard
Eastern.
Time. So we will see you guys there. Oh, we do need
Yep,
to
and I'll
raid
be on
somebody.
Fact Still
I need
Matters
to
live
raid
at 6 a.m.
Someone, yeah, I need to raid somebody. Chat, who are we gonna raid? Who are we gonna raid, chat? Who's online?
Hi, Ryan. I miss you.
Outta here,
Hi,
Sarah.
Ryan Hughes. Long time no see. I mean, I see you. but
Good
you know
Trouble. Let's raid Good Trouble. Good Trouble's on.
Love Good
guys.
Trouble.
Everybody
He's
go
the
to Good
best.
Trouble. Raid Good Trouble.
don't even know who Isaiah is.
Yeah.
It's a girl has
Good
no
Trouble
name.
chat. Go raid Good Trouble.
Yeah, and now
Tell 'em
I
that
just
Pickles
put,
sent ya.
I
We
can
all love
stream
him.
to you.
Oh,
I'll
they
be
all
streaming to
share out.
YouTube now too. I just
God,
figured
he's
it
on.
out. I figured out.
I already told
Streamlabs.
everybody to go to Good Trouble. Let's just go to Good Trouble. I love Isaiah too, but I don't want to divide everybody. So let's go to Good Trouble. I will see you guys there, chat. Much love. I will see y'all soon. Peace out, guys.
Bye, Eric. Get some sleep. Bye, Pickle.